And one information is that Sujaya ma'am, who has taken the value proposition, customer discovery, market research session on Wednesday, she has shared an email with us, and it's a similar exercise that kind of goes in with the business model canvas, and you can also submit the same. And I'll send across the link after this session.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening. Can you transfer the host? I'm unable to share screen.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, hi, good evening. Can you transfer the host control to share the screen?
Yes, sir. I'm speaking with Daniel. Daniel is the host right now. I think you can try sharing the screen, sir. Is it showing any particular remark or something?
Sorry, I was in mute. I tried 3 times, so.
Okay. So I'll just call Daniel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, good evening. Good evening to all.
Sir, happy Teachers' Day, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, I had sent out wishes to my school teachers, probably 30 plus years. So we still remember them, we still respect them. So nice to see on this day.
சார் இப்போ கொஞ்சம் ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க சார் ஸ்க்ரீன் ஷேர் ஆகுதான்ட்டு
No, it is not. I already tried half a dozen times. So please, unless you make me a host, I won't be able to share screen. I've mentioned that earlier too. So please, without losing time, yeah, great. I think now it has been enabled. Shall I? I think I should make one of you co-host because otherwise it will be a problem. Hold on.
ஹலோ ஓகேவா
Uh,
முன்னாடியே ஃபோன் கேட்டாரா? நான் ஃபோன் வந்துச்சு பேசிட்டு இருந்தேன், கவனிக்கல. ஹலோ சுபாஷ்,
is anybody joining as a co-host? Because you might have to mute if required. Anyways, without losing time, let's get today's session going. So, all right, there we go. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, great. So today we are looking at starting a startup, okay? And once again, warm welcome to all of you for this online session this Saturday. Really appreciate all of you to take time and come on a weekend Saturday evening, and it's a pleasure to once again meet you all. We had a wonderful session yesterday and very interactive towards the end, and a lot of interesting questions, insightful questions, thought-provoking questions, and I'm sure it's a way to go that all of you, from 30 colleges spread across, will be able to take it to every one of your college to ensure more startups come out from your respective colleges. And of course, when you move out, you'll be building many more startups supporting the ecosystem much better. So a warm welcome to you all. Great. So yeah, that we looked at it yesterday. Happy to be part of IIT Madras and part of EDA as well. All right. So let's do something great today because it's a culmination of all the learnings, all the sessions that you have been having for the last, today being the 5th day, I guess. So first 3 days you had some session. We had a business model canvas yesterday. So Iniki, something different that we will look at it, right? Which is going to be a culmination of all of this, plus a little more insights, more practical approach to take your startup initiatives forward. So Aramikilama, yes, are you all ready? Just put a thumbs up. Yes, yes, yes. Let's start moving, right? I want you guys to pump in with an yes and stuff like that. Yes, I'm getting one yes. I need many more. Yes, great, fantastic. Good. That's how I want to see the energy. Yes, super, awesome. Awesome, you're ready. Fantastic, I am too. All right. So, most important thing that I wanted to tell you today is we see a lot of success stories, right? Startup becomes a fancy word. All right. I was on a conversation today morning with a contact in East Europe. Okay. They want to come back to, they want to come into India, do some sessions, events and stuff like that. And I'm trying to help them charter the way forward as to how they can actually come in here. The purpose is very simple. They want to get an ecosystem built, that being a gateway for Europe, okay, in the Eastern Europe part, one of the countries. And then there are a lot of investors, okay, out there who want to invest potentially in companies in India, startups in India, right? The situation is very different. There are very few startups in that part of the world. And there are a lot of people with a lot of money trying to find out how to multiply, because money multiplies by itself, right? It doesn't multiply by itself. I'm sorry, money multiplies itself if you are able to show the right channel, right path, and do the right things, right? That's when it gets multiplied. So the money can actually multiply, provided you are able to do it right. So they are able to looking through options in terms of how startups investment can help them spearhead that ecosystem. And as a result, companies out here can actually come in over there to build an ecosystem type. So sometime sooner or later, I might have some more inputs inside. So please follow, connect with me, follow me in Startup Experts social media pages for you not to miss out on things, any announcements that comes in. And many of you might actually get benefited by just being part of that, following that and understanding what's happening. So coming back, the reason I want to tell you is this. Very few startups out there and people don't know where to invest because there's a lot of money, more money, very few startups. Out here, we have a number of startups around, right, across the country. Thousands of startups getting built every month, every year. Tens and thousands of them have already been established over the last 4 or 5 years. Now the thing is, we all end up seeing success stories in magazines, in online versions, and editorials, televisions, and stuff like that. We get carried away by these success stories and say, wow, tomorrow I want to become a billionaire. Okay, you don't intend to, or I would say, you don't begin a startup just to become a billionaire. Okay, it's a possible outcome. Okay, you build a startup because you actually want to build it. All right. So there are a lot of success stories that you have been listening to, but I also wanted to ask you some question. What do you actually see from this picture? I wanted your thoughts, quick thoughts, that by seeing this picture, what do you actually visualize? What do you actually see, perceive? Just type it in the chat box. Whatever you see, whatever you think, you are able to look at it. I want your answers in the chat box. By seeing the picture, swan swimming, okay. Beyond that, peace, fantastic. Hari, yes, good. What else? How many? Chilling, fantastic, nice. Okay. Any more? Go with the flow, okay. Natural habitat, okay. Enjoy, okay. Nice. Okay, calm water, peaceful, fantastic. Great. Silence, wonderful, wonderful. Free, alone, calm, peace. I think that's the kind of word I've been seeing from all of you. So yes, this is how it looks, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly how it looks. Relaxation, yes, true. Okay, this is how it exactly looks from an outsider perspective when you look into startups. This is how you actually be looking at it. Wow, these companies are cool, fantastic, right? And it's an easy life. All right, they're relaxed, they chill. All these words actually apply to the startups when you actually end up seeing. Yes or no? If you have seen those kind of startups, how many of you think, yes, I look at many startups, they are chilling, they are cool, they are just relaxing, they are chilling out and stuff like that? Yes? Do you think so? Yeah. Keep pouring. Absolutely good. All right. So yes, we actually look at that as part of our own impression about how the startups are, right? Now the point here is, gentlemen and ladies, please understand that whatever you see here, this is what is happening deep inside. Okay, it has to pedal so much, hundreds, every minute. The pedaling will be in hundreds, right? Relentless strokes, massive stroke it has to do underneath the water. That is the kind of struggle, that is the kind of effort that we are actually looking at it. Okay, so from the surface it looks very calm, fine. Yes, everybody wants to build a startup, but beneath that, please understand, there's a lot of effort that goes behind, which is normally not noticed. Unless and until you dive deep inside and find out what's happening, it's very difficult to see this. We being part of this ecosystem, we are doing it ourselves. We are supporting many other firms as well. We can clearly, we go down and we could see the kind of struggle, the kind of turmoil, that kind of effort, the kind of energies being put in to keep pedaling, to ensure that you stay afloat, you keep moving forward. You have mentioned that, yes, right, to take the distance to cross one place. Yes, you need to cross from one place to another place. You need to move from place A to place B, right? So how do you do that? Without effort, it doesn't happen. So now, are you prepared to take this effort and build your startup? Yes? Are you prepared? Are you ready for this effort? Cool, nice, wonderful, because it's not going to be easy. I'm not here to tell you not to do a startup, okay? I'm here to tell you the reality and tell you how to do it right, what to do, and also tell you the reality that it's not going to be the surface, superficial paint that keeps getting colored often by the media and things like that, right? Yes, it's good to see the positive side of it. Definitely, it's motivating. But You don't look at only that. You look at so many other factors as well. So you need to get a 360-degree view. Otherwise, the other side always looks green. When you go over there, you find a lot of issues and challenges. So you need to understand the reality of the space and how things are going to happen, shape up for it. Fantastic. You're saying ready. Awesome. Great. So this is the effort you should be prepared, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you. If you are going to build a startup, if you're going to help build a startup, this is what is absolutely required for you to do, right? Now, coming back, how many know what is the actual success rate of a startup? Can you just type in your numbers, whatever you think it's numbers? What is the success rate of a startup? I'll give about 10, 15 seconds. Just throw a number, whatever you think. Okay. 50-50, okay. No, success rate of a startup, I'm saying. Okay, what is the kind of success rate? 50%, 75%, 50-50, 10%, 65%, 25%. Good. I'm able to see answers of 40% success rate. Okay. Most of them fail. Okay. 90% success rate. Wow. Okay. Did you say 90% success rate or failure rate? I didn't know what you actually meant. But the question was success rate. How many startups actually succeed? Yes, many of you got it right. Only 10% succeeds. 9 out of 10 startups fail. These are all universal numbers that you can actually see it everywhere. Some places it would say 92% failures and stuff like that. So typically 40% of the companies don't survive beyond 18 months to 36 months period, right? Many of them die down. And if you look at a 5-year window, very few actually survive and do well. When I say successful, really doing it well, keeping abreast, just making revenues, meeting, it's like a hand to mouth. So it's not like a hand to mouth. So people have to really do well. That's what we call it as a success. And of course, you are able to keep your neck above water. Yes, you can still call it as a success as well, because it's not easy to do that, right? And the more situation la, right? Wow, good. 100% when you do it right. Okay, I won't be able to comment on that because many people keep asking me, okay, now I engage you, you guide me, you do that. Can you assure me 100% success? I certainly can't. Why? I certainly can't. We have a lot of experience, we have a lot of insights, we have been seeing with multiple startups. Yes, even in spite of we engaging with any particular startup, can we be absolutely sure that we can be 100% successful? My answer is no. I already told you the answer. My answer is no. I can't guarantee you success. Why? Competitors, okay. That's going to be there everywhere. Any startup that you build, you are going to see competition always. Okay. What else? What else? Uncertainties. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. In simple terms, we are not God to ensure that it is 100% success, right? So the point here is that there is no guarantee for success. But if you do it in a certain way, it is doomed to fail. But if you do it in a certain way, possibility that you can be successful is very high. You are only going to increase the success ratio by doing things right. Yes, absolutely. Uncertainty is common self. Yes, you need to have confidence. I agree with you. But that alone is not going to build it, because of course, all the points are very valid. You need to have all of these qualities to ensure you build it. So we are talking about increasing the success rate, reducing the failure rate. Okay. In essence, yeah, absolutely. In essence, I'm coming to the question. We are answering. That's actually my next question. So hold on. You are trying to build the success ratio of every particular startup by doing the right things. Yeah, a couple of good points out there. Fantastic. Now, having said, now you have gone to the bottom. You know it's really difficult. Failure rates are very high. The risk factors are very high. So you enna solla vararu pannalama venama appadina or question varum, right? I know. So what do you suggest? Na aarambikkalama vendama? Should I build a startup? Should I don't build a startup? Okay. Now the point is, yes, I'm in favor of actually building, right, multiple startups, but I am also of the opinion that we should build fundamentally strong, scalable, sustainable startups. That's what I want to create. That's the kind of ecosystem I want to see, friends. All of you are going to take part in this particular journey in building a beautiful ecosystem, startup ecosystem. Now the question is, now can you tell me what are the typical reasons for failures? Can you tell me why the startup fails? I got one answer in advance. So it says lack of funding. Okay, what else? why does a startup fail? Why should it fail? Put it with your answers, your thoughts. Market meaning I didn't understand exactly because they don't update themselves for the present. Fantastic, because I think you picked the clue from yesterday. Fantastic, good. Not consistent with work, good. Wrong targeted customers, nice, very nice. Improper planning, nice. Correct. Lack of knowledge, yes. Knowledge about business or about the domain that you're operating, yes. Absolutely. Yeah, competition, market forces, I agree with you, absolutely, quite true. The reasons are quite plenty. Yes, inappropriate business model. There you go, absolutely. One of the top three reasons, right? You don't have a proper business model in place, right? And of course, short-term planning, fear of risk. See, fear of risk is a very valid point. Fear of risk, it doesn't even push you to do a startup. Okay, I'll give an example. Some time ago, okay, a few years, one gentleman walked in. I said, sir, I have 2 crores. Okay, I have cash. Tell me, what business should I do? So, you tell me in what way I can help you build a business. But no, நீங்க சொல்லுங்க என்ன business பண்ணலாம் சொல்லுங்க. So I can't tell you what business you can do. I can tell you 100 ideas, 50 different initiatives that I can tell you. But what is that you can do is something only you will be able to know. உங்களால பண்ண முடியறது எதுவோ அதுதான் நம்ம பண்ண முடியும், right? Because everybody's outlooks are different. So you have some parameters. Okay, you have said yes, your budget is 2 CR, 2 crores Indian rupees. But எப்படி என்ன வேற என்ன, can you give me some more ideas? Sir, எது பண்ணாலும் சேஃபா இருக்கணும் சார். I want my money to be safe. So I said, okay, do you know even investing in a fixed deposit, your money is not safe. If you invest your 2 CR in fixed deposit, tomorrow the bank goes off, whatever be the reason, okay? It closes down. You don't get your money. Are you aware? Do you know how much you will get it back? There are typical government regulations that says this is what you will get. Apdiya sir? Yes. Please go through. And I really don't know any startup that can be done, right, where it can be 100% safe. The moment, ladies and gentlemen, when you are getting into a startup, you are getting into risks. That's for sure. But without risk, there is no reward, right? If you are looking at enjoying rewards and good returns, great returns, very successful life and stuff like that, you got to take the bite. You need to bite the bullet and you need to take risks. That is very, very important. It's imperative that you are able to ensure that you have the right ingredients to build it, understanding the risk behind it, and then keep moving things forward, right? Yes, sometimes, yeah, you are right. Too much confidence and all of that. Yeah, like we talked about yesterday, right? I just built it because I think there is a market. I have no idea. I didn't even do any validation. I didn't ask anyone. I didn't even check who my potential customers are. I don't even know who my potential customers are. So in that way, there is no way that we'll be able to build a successful model. And there are, friends, there are interesting stories that you would have seen. Companies raising millions of dollars and shutting down. And suddenly you come back and find the reason, oh, we don't have a proper business model. I mean, why will it take 3 years or 2 years or 5 years to find out that you don't have a business model? You should do business model right from day one. You can tweak it, you can fine tune it based upon so many other factors. You can adapt the model as it is required to succeed in the marketplace. You can fine tune it. You can fine tune strategies. You can fine tune tactics as required whenever it is, right? But the point here is that you will need to understand that by doing the right things, only you will be able to build successful models, right? Successful enterprises. Now, coming back, the very first thing that I want to tell you is this. The first thing that is required to start a company or to build a startup is to have a mindset of that of an entrepreneur. You can't have a safe thing around and castles built around and trying to build stuff on your own. You need to have the mindset very clear to become an entrepreneur. That's what is the key, the very first step. So as an entrepreneur, what all is required? You need to understand that you need to ask enough questions. You need to ask questions. How do I do it differently? Tell me, where can I improve? What can I do? Right? I have a question that I have someone who had sent me a message in WhatsApp. What do I do and things like that. That's really appreciative. They seen the session yesterday in the class or the YouTube. They send me a note and say, this is what I want to do. What do you recommend? What do you suggest? You need to be very open by asking questions. Without asking questions, you are not going to learn more, right? So that's very important quality. Next, you also mentioned in one of the chat boxes, right? So I think I had that with me. All right, it's okay. Affirmation that yes, you have, that you are affirming yourself that I'm actually committed to do certain things, right? And I also say that, okay, I also say that you need to also do something called as a pre-mortem, though it's not an English word, but please understand, we are all used to doing postmortems. If something will fail, we'll now go ahead and do it. Let's do an analysis. Let's find out why it failed. That's all fine. You will anyway do it when you fail, when something don't work out. In the software terms, many of you are from IT. Some of you I can clearly see from engineering background. So which actually means that you have something called as a root cause analysis, RCA, right? Why did it go wrong? You ask multiple questions, whys and stuff like that, and finally you will not be able to answer. And that's the point you need to look at and stuff like that. That's the strategy that we always use as business consultants, right? So I say, do a pre-mortem. What if I do this? What is likely to happen? It's like playing a chess game. You need to know a few steps ahead. You should think of few steps ahead always, right? In a chess, I'm sure many of you know chess, right? You always visualize what you are going to do. You also visualize what your competitors might do. Okay, you may not have every situation in your control. You may not be able to visualize everything else, but at least getting those basic data in terms of what possibly could happen, and those kind of analysis will help you avoid a postmortem to a greater extent. There have been instances that postmortems have been avoided when you are able to do a pre-mortem. Okay, do that before that, because postmortem is only done on a dead body, right? After it's done, after the things have happened. But here we are talking about how do I ensure that I don't end up being there on the other side when such a thing is conducted. So I ensure that I do things right here. What could possibly go wrong? List out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can be the wildest of the stuff, but have plans. These are all the risk mitigation strategies that we are talking about, right? You need to do all of this. Then bouncing with others. There are many who come back and say, I have a fantastic idea. Can I get investments? I said, fantastic. So what is this? No, we have to sign an NDA. It's very, very confidential. We can't disclose that and all. I said, if it is so very innovative, please go register a patent or something like that. You have a product, you have a prototype, you have design, you have a great process that can be patented. Please go ahead and patent and come back. Don't even tell me. I don't even want to listen. And don't tell anyone else. No, it is not patent and all. I just have a great idea. I said, my friend, there are enough ideas in the universe. Every single individual will have at least one idea, if not more. There are billion ideas right now in the country, right? You ask a boy in school, he will have an idea. You ask a girl in college, she will have an idea. You ask a senior citizen of the country, they will have ideas. So there is no dearth of ideas. So my only thing is, you don't need to explicitly disclose nuts and bolts of it so that you feel insecure. But you need to understand whether are we getting into the kind of landscape that we want to get in, right? And bounce it off with people, with the relevant people who can give you some thoughts and stuff like that, right? Because even if you are launching a company today, tomorrow somebody is anyway going to copy that. So you are already out in the market, so which means people can easily copy it. If it is such easy to copy things, then please understand whether should you really do it. Because it's a question of few months. It is not a big deal. But you have an inherent ability to do things differently, do things better, right? Like you said, somebody said, yes, if you are watching this session, probably you have increased your success quotient. You have minimized your risk to a greater extent. Okay, we don't guarantee success, but there is certainly a good path that you have taken in terms of reducing your risk and then increasing your success quotient. So bouncing of others, what to bounce, what not to bounce, yes, you need to be cautious about. But then just by keeping close, it will never come out. I have seen people who have been holding the ideas for years together and suddenly find out that somebody has already done. Oh, idatha na nanache pannanonu 8 varsham nanachen. Nanache irukka vendidhaan. Velakku agadadala. right? We need to understand that we should get into action, friends. That's what is important. And before action, all of these points that we are talking about, we need to ensure that we take the right steps and do it right. Right? Let's get back to business basics, fundamentals of how to build a startup. I'm not going to talk about the domain, because for me, domain is a black box, right? I don't understand domain. Though I can, but I don't want to understand domain, because it can be a healthcare, it can be an education industry, it can be a food tech industry, it can be a manufacturing industry, right? It can be an information technology like a blockchain or AI, whatever it can be. I don't want to look at that part. That is your core. That's what you're trying to build. That's a product or a service you're trying to create. But I'm here to talk about the business basics, which will apply to every one of the business that we are talking about, right? A typical startup. Now, first, you need to understand the process very clearly. Whenever you are trying to create a startup, build a startup, you need to understand that it follows through a process. Anything that you do has to follow a process. Okay, what are those processes? Number one, identify I think there's a spell error, sorry. So you need to identify opportunities. How do we identify opportunities, right? I'm not here to tell you how to create ideas, right? There are enough ideas, and there are workshops to conduct even to make you think how can you even think of creating those specific ideas, right? But more importantly, not all ideas are actually opportunities. An opportunity is something where the idea can actually be monetized. Yesterday, we talked about the problem versus the solution, right? The benefit that the user can get, red ocean, blue ocean, all of that. So if you're able to identify the opportunity, that's a very first step. You should have an idea, and you may have 4 or 5 ideas. Find out which one has the best opportunity. Opportunity means where you can actually monetize, where the customer can actually pay for it, where you know clearly who your target customer could be, and whether can you spot them, right? These are all the things that you need to have clarity in mind. So identify the opportunity is one. Second one is evaluating whether it is worth doing or not. இது பண்ணலாமா வேண்டாமா, எதுக்கு நான் பண்ணணும், who are the market players already serving this particular stuff or similar products, or நம்ம தான் முதல்ல பண்றோமா? நம்ம முதல்ல பண்ணோம்னா ஏன் யாருமே பண்ணல? Okay, you should ask that question. யாருமே பண்ணல சார், நான் பண்றேன். யாரும் பண்ணலன்னு நீங்க பண்ணும்போது, you should also understand that why somebody didn't do. Is it because they didn't have an idea? Valid question. Is it because they didn't think about it and you thought about it? If so, fantastic. If not, understand why they haven't come with this idea or a feature. Okay, maybe somebody has already tried. So please do search, Google it, whatever it is, right? You need to understand what has happened before you end up building one more, because you don't want to learn it in a tough way. Today, every information is available. All kind of data points, information is available in the net. So you can find out similar companies, substitute products and all of that, whether will that disrupt. So that evaluation process is absolutely critical when you start off your entrepreneurial journey, right? Identification, evaluation. Business model, we talked about it yesterday at length, right? The 9 blocks that we are talking. So the 9 blocks have to be meticulously followed, and you need to ensure that the model is robust, right? Only then you are starting up a firm. In fact, I have people coming and asking me, sir, na company la ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டேன், பேர் வச்சாச்சு, எல்லாம் பண்ணியாச்சு, இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராடக்ட் பண்ணலாம்னு நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன். I said, why do you want to even create a company? You don't even know whether you're going to build a startup or not. Why do you want to spend the money, create that entity, incorporation, registration, paying off for the process, registering the process, எல்லாம் பண்ணவே வேண்டாமே. You can always do it later. First things first. So என்ன பண்றதுன்னு தெரியாம நிறைய பேர் they are getting into this. This is the biggest problem that we face. ஏன்னா யாருக்கும் ப்ராசஸ் தெரியறது இல்ல. எடுத்த உடனே கம்பெனி பேர் எடுத்து ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணிட வேண்டியது. பண்ணுங்க. That's I'm not saying no. You will do, but you don't even know what you're going to do. அது whether it is going to happen in 1 day, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 5 years, nobody knows. And register பண்ணியாச்சுன்னா அதுக்கு நீங்க கம்ப்ளைன்ஸ் பண்ணணும். பிரைவேட் லிமிடெட் ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணியாச்சுன்னா you need to undergo compliance. You need to file returns. எத்தனை விஷயங்கள் இருக்கு. கரெக்ட், ஜிஎஸ்டில இருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு நிறைய விஷயங்கள் பண்ண வேண்டியிருக்கும். எதுவுமே இல்லை, நில்லுன்னு கூட போடணும். So you have a lot of unwanted things that you will be getting into. So be very clear what you should do. Yes, business model is very, very important. And யோசிச்சிட்டே இருக்காதீங்க. There are people who keep doing research for years together without doing any action. Get into action. Startup is all about timing. Time is very, very important. If you lose it, you won't get it. So, but at the same time, don't do it just for the heck of doing it. It is very important. You need to do it see, it is in a solvana, it's a marathon solva. Startup is like running a marathon. Okay, sir, running a marathon means it is like, so many miles. But the point is, it is all marathons which encapsulates short sprints. இப்போ வந்து 10 கிலோமீட்டர் ஓடுங்க அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு உண்டான எனர்ஜி ஷுட் பி தேர், ரைட்? பட் ஸ்டார்ட் அப் பொறுத்த மட்டும் ஒவ்வொரு கிலோமீட்டர் ஸ்பிரிண்ட் மாதிரி ஓடணும், இல்ல 100 மீட்டர் ஸ்பிரிண்டா ஓடிட்டு இருக்கணும். இட்ஸ் லைக் ஃபாஸ்ட், இங்க இருந்தவங்க அடுத்த ரவுண்ட் ஓடிட்டே இருக்கணும். So that's how you build a startup, because it's a long journey, right? So you need to ensure that you get into action. ஒரு ஐடியா வந்திருக்கா, நான் ப்ரோட்டோடைப் பண்றேன், I will validate it. I'll check with people whether it works. I'll show to my potential customers and find out whether they are okay with it. Will they buy it? Will they pay for it? Whether it's a service or it's a product. அதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு அப்புறமா you can always create a formal entity and do all of that, because your formal entity is needed for you to create that brand, create that visibility, provide you with that kind of a structure for you to raise an invoice, get cash flows into it, manage the company, hire people. எத்தனையோ விஷயங்கள் இருக்கு, right? But you need to just start doing it. So processல முதல்ல ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணுங்க, எவாலுவேட் பண்ணுங்க, இது பண்ணலாமா வேண்டாமான்னு. Third, proper business model. Nithik பண்ண மாதிரி you need to do that and just do it. Go ahead and just do it, right? Opportunity. எதெல்லாம் opportunity அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, இங்கே பார்க்கும்போது you will always say, sir, I have a fantastic idea and this will be superb அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு வருது. அது மிராஜ் மாதிரி, right? You will cornel near, right? You end up seeing, looks like it has got a lot of water, but கிட்ட போகும்போது ஒண்ணுமே இருக்காது, right? So most of the times it happens like that, because we are so short-sighted, because we as startup founders, we think that our ideas are the best in the world. Nothing wrong in it, okay? நினைச்சுக்கலாம். But that is not the reality. We need to be very clear about what the reality is. So we need to understand whether in the product market la poguma pogada. That identification, that validation process is very, very important. Most of the times people don't validate. It's one of the top 3 failures for startups, friends. Validate பண்ணாமையே so many startups get built, and then after some point in time they just shut down. There are entities I have seen, able to pivot it differently and do something better, right? But the point is, struggle for a long time and you are able to not sustain it, and you will be doing it for life, maybe for another few years. But முதலே வந்ததுனா it will be better off to do it, right? So அதனால அது மிராஜா இல்லனா it is a reality ஆன்றத we should always test it. Validation is very, very important. Whether this is the best opportunity, you really want to put in your time, energy, life and soul into it. ஏனா இது வந்து it is just not only about I'm spending some time. You have to build, feel and plow your passion into it. விதைச்ச விதை வந்து பேஷனால நீங்க விட போறீங்க, right? And you are going to build people. You are going to have support systems to be created. அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும்போது you need to ensure that இது வந்து it is not just a mirage, but it is reality. நிஜமாவே இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு அப்படின்னு எடுத்துட்டு you should start to do this. So understand the validation process is absolutely critical and important. Having said that, I will also tell you what is an opportunity. I actually do this in a workshop, right? இதெல்லாம் வந்து typically it takes a 3-day workshop, different topics, but we are trying to give you in a concised, இப்பலாம் fast food மாதிரி டக்குனு you want a capsule முழுகோமா ஓடுவோமா அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி. So I'm trying to give you that pill. Opportunity na என்ன? Please make a note of these. Very, very important. எந்த opportunity நீங்க ஐடியா எடுத்தாலும் அந்த ஐடியால இருந்து you will build opportunity. ஒரு 5 ஐடியா, இந்த ஐடியால இதுதான் பெஸ்ட் opportunity அப்படி நீங்க எடுக்கிறீங்க. அந்த opportunity எப்ப குவாலிஃபை பண்ணனும்னா you have to validate these aspects that I have shown you right here. Number 1, it should be attractive. When I say attractive, the size, the potential should be huge. நம்ம எவ்வளவு பண்றோம்ங்கிறது வேற, reality is very different. But the market that you are able to address should be sufficiently large. அப்பதான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து spread கிடைக்கும். அப்பதான் the growth opportunities are tremendous. It should be attractive. ரெண்டாவது, it should be durable. இன்னைக்கு ஆரம்பிச்சு நாளைக்கு மாதிரி விட்டுற கூடாது. டியூரபிளா இருக்கணும், லாங் லைஃபா இருக்கணும். இன்னைக்கு ஒன்னு இருக்கேன் நான் சானிடைசர் பண்ணி வித்துட்டு போறேன்னா okay, it is not wrong, but you can't build a sustained operation over the next so many years, maybe a decade. It might be difficult. Probably 6 months, 12 months from now, touch wood, if everything goes off, right? That's the prediction, right? This COVID might go off in some time, maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, maybe 9 months. Abdin solranga. Some people say 2 years. Nobody knows. But assuming it goes away, how many people are actually going to buy masks and sanitizers? Could be challenging, isn't it? But there's nothing wrong in building a company, knowing clearly my window is short. In the period, I will quickly make some business and get it out. Perfectly fine. That's okay. But you don't build a startup like that, because the validate panni, hit panni, get into the market, do a trial, get acceptance of the customer, then slowly build it to scale. I'm talking about those kind of organizations, those kind of startups, not temporary, which will be there. Okay. So it should be durable. Durable na long lasting. Number 2. 3, very, very important. It should create value. எது பண்ணாலும் something has to be, there should be some value to be created for the customer. Okay, நேத்துக்கு பார்த்தோம் இந்த யூனிக் வேல்யூ ப்ரொபோர்ஷன்ங்கிறது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். அந்த வேல்யூ ப்ராப் கிரியேட் ஆலைனா, ladies and gentlemen, it probably may not be a successful startup. Very rare chance that it's likely to succeed. You need to create value. Value to customers, value to stakeholders. ரெண்டு சைடு நேத்துக்கு பார்த்தோம். ஒன்னு வந்து ப்ராடக்ட் சைடு, ஒரு மார்க்கெட் சைடு, ரைட்? இன்டர்னல் பாத்தீங்கன்னா you look at value by creating opportunities, growth, valuation of the company, etc., right? For the stakeholders. Market pata, customer should see value in your company, value in an entity. And the value create pannalena, entities cannot survive. It won't last long. You need to showcase the value, deliver the value. Verna sonna mattum kanadhu. We are the best customer service companies. Ulla ponana avan kandukave maatan. Nariya company la potrupanga. We treat customers like God. At least we tell them, please don't treat them like a crap. Okay, you don't need to treat them like God, but don't treat them like crap. Okay, you see so many ads. Ethaniyo paakrom nama, ethaniyo claims. We see so many claims. And to reach even a customer support, I mean, I'm sure everybody would have seen this kind of stuff. So typically when the rubber hits the road, experience pannabodan theriyum the real colors. It is actually not. Very rarely people show customer centric attitude. But end of the day, friends, you need to create value, deliver value to your customers. That's important. One other important point is this, the one that you see in the red, which is timely nature. It should be timed right? Okay, now time for a quick chat. Okay, I want you to tell me, which is the first video streaming platform in the world? First video streaming platform. Takkunu eludunga. Video streaming platform. Edhula nama video la poda aarambichom. I want to see your answers. Good. Keep flowing. How many people say that? I want to get it from a few more. Yes, go ahead. Shoot. Video streaming platform. Yes. Oh, Instagram la ipadha vandadhu. YouTube, fantastic. Many people are saying, okay, FP kuda appuram dhaan vandadhu. Okay, FP எப்ப வந்தது தெரியுமா? இந்த இயர் தெரியுமா? Instagram எப்ப வந்தது தெரியுமா? YouTube எப்ப வந்தது தெரியுமா? Okay, so most of the answers are in that way. I really appreciate. Nice. But I actually forgot the name of the company, just not flashing me right now. View My World or Make My World, I think one company was there, which Insta 2010. Okay. YouTube எப்ப வந்து சொல்லுங்க பாப்போம். YouTube origin, I'll tell you, don't worry. Okay, I'll give you the story. Okay, good, nice. Okay, 2005, 2000. Okay, almost one more guess pantinga. All right, good. So I'll give you the story, please understand. 95, around that time, somewhere close to that, I don't know exactly the year, but somewhere during that time, okay, there was a video streaming platform. All right, அவங்க என்ன பண்ணாங்க, they used to telecast these matches, NBC or அந்த football, American football, whatever. I think those matches were actually telecasted, right, through this particular video streaming platform. And the company வந்து ஃபண்டும் ரைஸ் பண்ணாங்க, not just small sum. Okay, multiple millions they had actually raised. All right, they have raised millions of dollars as funding. But unfortunately, I think around 99 நினைக்கிறேன் 96ல ரைஸ் பண்ண 97 கூட ரைஸ் பண்ணாங்க நினைக்கிறேன் 99ல I guess somewhere around 99 they actually closed down, they shut shop, the company போச்சு. Any idea why it failed? Any guess? எதனால ஃபெயில் ஆச்சு? Anyone? No Android phone. Okay, interesting answer. Okay, Android phone or iOS phone answer illa actually, but you are actually thinking in that direction. I appreciate it. Nice, your thoughts are going good. People using internet very less back then. Good, nice. Okay, didn't get a good reach towards the customers. Actually overall reach pannanga internet. Yeah, I think you got it, you nailed it. Good guys. No proper quality, fantastic. There you go. Net was costly. Yeah, costly ஒரு part இருக்கட்டும். The infrastructure was not allowing it to actually stream. Okay, you would have, I don't know how many of you guys have even heard about 256 kbps, 512 kbps. அதெல்லாம் நாங்க யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். Okay, more 20 plus years ago we have used that. Okay, 64 kbps, 128 kbps, 512 kbps, 1 mbps now. Wow, அப்படின்றது அந்த மாதிரி, you know, people out there, the infra was not supporting the kind of video streaming at that point in time, friends. Right? Infra illa available illa. People cost is one factor, right? But maybe it's not for all. யாருக்கு afford பண்ண முடியுமோ they can actually do that. But the infra was not supporting. So அதனால beyond a point it didn't take off. It didn't go beyond a point. Circa 2004, that's when YouTube got founded. 2000 found பண்ணாங்க. 2005, I think September, November, around the time frame. என்னாச்சு? What happened to the company? என்னாச்சு யூடியூப்? 2004ல ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. 1.5 வருஷம் தான் கம்பெனி ஆரம்பிச்சு. என்னாச்சு அப்புறம்? What happened to YouTube? Something major happened. They were bought by Google. YouTube is a Google company. உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், பார்த்திருப்பீங்க இல்லையா? So YouTube was bought by Google, and you know what value? Any guess? $1.65 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, timing. ஆரம்பிச்சது யாரோ? Okay, the concept and thought process. So நீங்க முதல்ல இருக்கணும்னு அவசியம் கிடையாது, right? The important point is you will need to ensure that things are supportive enough for you to do that kind of an initiative and be successful in that model. The timing correct ஆகணும். In the period, like infra started to become much better, and people are able to really enjoy the kind of video streaming that was supported. And rest is all history. Today, every home has it. The kind of bandwidth we are talking about, 100 Mbps, 150 Mbps, 300 Mbps, 200 Mbps லாம் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம். But வீட்டுக்கு வரது வந்து 5, 10, 40 எல்லாம் நிறைய வருது. I also do checks. But of course, we hope that infra problems will solve. But technically, we can get, right, 100 Mbps, 200 Mbps speeds right at our homes today, right? Most of the homes. So the point is, and the timing is very, very important whenever you do, right? So this is the combination that you should look at in terms of in the opportunity na பண்ணலாமா வேண்டாமா அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு you should be able to find out that it ticks these 4 boxes. இது ஆரம்பிச்சதுனா then we can go one step forward. இது இல்லாம next step போகாதீங்க. Okay? This is how you identify an opportunity. You kind of validate an opportunity with this. All right? Next. எப்படி ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லி தரேன் உங்களுக்கு. ஓகே, நேத்திக்கு நம்ம பார்த்தோம் ஒரு ஆஸ்பெக்ட், ஒரு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டியா இது இருக்கா இல்லையா அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு there are tricks that you can look at. This is what we normally help startups to explore, find and understand and come back and say இதுதான் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி அப்படின்னு அவங்களுக்கு சொல்லணும். அவங்க they should be able to tell that this is what is opportunity I have spotted. அப்படின்னா நம்பர் 1, solve a problem. நேத்திக்கே பார்த்தோம், ஏதாவது ப்ராப்ளம் சால்வ் பண்றோம் மார்க்கெட்ல, the problem should be big enough, not a very small problem. ஒரு 10 பேருக்கு சார் தான் இருக்கு, ஒரு 125 பேருக்கு இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு சார், அப்படிலாம் பண்ண முடியாது. ஓகே, the problem should be big enough that you address at one shot. அதுதான் நம்ம முதல்ல பார்க்கறோம். solve a problem. ரெண்டாவது, இப்ப ப்ராப்ளம் நிறைய லிஸ்ட் பண்ணுவோம், எல்லாருக்கும் see problems are plenty இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் country, right? In a kind of country like India. problems are enormous, which actually presents you with numerous opportunities to spot, numerous startups to be created, numerous entrepreneurs to be created. So and the problem solve பண்ணும்போது you end up creating a startup as well. And the problem பெரிய problem இருந்ததுனா it's fantastic. Okay, இது ஒரு way to look at identifying an opportunity. ரெண்டாவது என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா observe trends. மார்க்கெட் எப்படி ட்ரெண்ட் எப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்கு, இதெல்லாம் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. I'm not asking you to go like a herd mentality யாரு போக சொல்லல. ட்ரெண்ட பார்த்துட்டு அந்த ட்ரெண்டுக்கு அலைன் பண்ணி you trying to do that. என்னோட ஐடியா இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு, பெட்டரா இருக்கு, இவங்க எல்லாம் பண்றாங்க, ஐ திங்க் இந்த ஸ்பாட் வந்து சரியா பண்ணலனா இதை கொஞ்சம் மாத்தி டிஃபரெண்டா பிசினஸ் மாடலை டிஃபரெண்டா பண்ண முடியும், என்னால வேற மாதிரி பேக்கேஜ் பண்ணி கொடுக்க முடியும், இதை விட சுப்பீரியரா என்னால ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி கொடுக்க முடியும், இதை விட ஐ கேன் டூ இட் அட் 1/4 the cost, ரைட் அப்படின்றத யோசிக்க முடியும் என்னால. I can do this faster. I can do it at 1/5 the time that others are trying to create. Right? In the மாதிரிலாம் நீங்க வந்து problems you can actually create entities by observing the trends that is happening in the market and gaps in the market. Very very important. The gaps எல்லாம் நீங்க ஸ்பாட் பண்ணலாம். இவங்க இது பண்றாங்க but in between ல யாருமே இது பண்ணல. And if it is big enough a space, you can just go hit it. Simple example சொல்றேன் பாருங்களேன். Look at your manufacturer, right? A product gets manufactured, right? And you as a consumer, வீட்ல இருக்கீங்க, you are ordering through, let us say, a portal like an Amazon or Flipkart or whatever online portal that you are trying to buy the product. Say for example, now இத டெலிவர் பண்றதுக்கு it's an opportunity, and the last mile connectivity. Food is already there. Then you have somebody is ordering and doing it. எத்தனை கம்பெனியால or restaurants ஆல or eateries, takeaways ஆள போட்டு சப்ளை பண்ண முடியும்? It's difficult. ஏன்னா எப்போ வருதுன்னே தெரியாது உங்களுக்கு business. So many kind of initiatives actually failed because they couldn't sustain. ஏன்னா ஆர்டர் பண்ணும்போது ஆள் இருக்க மாட்டாங்க, ஆள் இருக்கும்போது ஆர்டர் வராது, கள்ளகண்டா that story. அதனால நிறைய பேரால ரன் பண்ண முடியல. இல்லப்பா பேசாம இங்க போய் பிசிக்கலா வாங்க உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்குறோம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இறங்கிட்டாங்க. I mean, there are many experimentations that have happened over the last so many years. Please and also see, there are companies like Dunzo, Delivery, they have all come in. Last mile connectivity, no problem. Don't take up logistics on your head. உங்க தலையில போட்டுக்காதீங்க. உங்களோட கோர் என்ன? To get the product, whether it is a food or whether it is a mobile phone, whatever it is. Point is, you are only looking at solving the gaps. இவங்கிட்ட இது இருக்கு இதா இந்த ஃபைனல் மைல் அட்ரஸ் பண்றதுக்கு ஆள் இல்ல, நான் பண்ணி தரேன். So இந்த மாதிரி gaps across industries, across cities, state specific, எப்படி வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம். But you need to understand the gaps and see whether your startup can be worth enough to be fitted into that. Right? இந்த மாதிரி tricks and techniques of identifying an opportunity. ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் சால்வ் பண்றோமா, பெரிய லெவல்ல இருக்கா, ட்ரெண்ட்ஸ் என்ன மாதிரி போயிட்டு இருக்கு, மார்க்கெட் இஸ் மூவிங் டுவர்ட்ஸ் a direction, ஆன்லைன் ட்ரைனிங், கோச்சிங், அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. So you have seen so many things. You have look at there's a new company, right? Suddenly spun up, Byju's bought the White Hat Junior for about $300 million. ஒரு மில்லியன்னா எவ்வளவு தெரியுமா உங்களுக்கு? கிட்டத்தட்ட 7.5 கோடி பிளஸ், 300 மில்லியன், ரைட்? ஆன்லைன் எஜுகேஷன் ஸ்பேஸ். So இந்த மாதிரி ட்ரெண்ட் நிறைய இருக்கு. இன்னைக்கு நிறைய பேர் ஆன்லைன்ல பாக்குறோம், படிக்கிறோம், right? There's a content getting consumed actively over the internet. There is an online reach to reach you contents. நல்ல குவாலிட்டி கண்டென்ட் எடுத்துக்கிறதுக்கு நிறைய ஆட்கள் இருக்காங்க. So நம்ம we should ensure that we are able to position and then deliver it, that we have something unique and we deliver it. நிறைய artificial intelligence, AR, augmented reality, virtual reality companies are all coming up. They're all getting invested. நிறைய கம்பெனி இருக்கு, right? I think IIT Madras also has been creating stuffs, right? I've seen some pictures, right, in one of the events, entrepreneurship events lab. So interesting trends பார்த்து கூட பண்ணலாம். And finally, as I said, gaps in the market understand பண்ணிட்டு கூட அதுல you can position and slot your entity and do that. So these are some ways to identify. Next, இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணும்போது, as I told you, there are many kind of opportunities that you will end up seeing. எது biggest opportunity பாருங்க, அதுல you can bet it. Anyway, your risk is the same, your efforts are the same, right? But at the same time, why don't you look at the larger opportunities? Because your success ratios can be very very high if it clicks. Because நீங்க ஒரு small opportunity பண்றதுனால ஒரு நாளைக்கு 4 மணி நேரம் ஒர்க் பண்ண போறது இல்ல, right? We as entrepreneurs work 24/7. right? I'm here on a Saturday with you. I have some other meetings planned tomorrow also. I have sessions. I have mentoring sessions planned tomorrow as well, right? So 24/7 working. Why don't we address the bigger opportunities and increase our stakes? Stakes in சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, நம்ம stakes increase பண்ணிட்டே போலாம், right? பண்றச்சே பெருசா பண்ணிடலாம், right? So and if you do it right, then chances of success are really pretty high. You are only increasing your chances of success. So அப்படிங்கிறதுனால validation. Next step that we are looking at is validation of basics. எப்படி validate பண்ணலாம் இந்த ஐடியா வந்து pursue பண்ணலாமா வேண்டாமா அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு how do we validate the idea is the question. All right, yeah, thank you for your comment. Yes, so validation பண்றோம் எப்படின்னா, you can make a note because இதெல்லாம் very very important. இந்த ரெண்டு question, do they have this problem, இந்த problem நிஜமாவே இருக்கா இல்ல நம்ம தான் assume பண்றோமா problem இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு, right? Second, very very important, will they pay for it? இந்த ரெண்டு validation questionsல தான் நிறைய startups actually fail. இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப simple techniques, right? It doesn't need a rocket science. You don't need to have great degrees to understand this. Very simple. The problem நிஜமாவே இருக்கா இல்ல you are only assuming that there's a problem, right? And will they actually pay for it? நேத்து ஒரு example பார்த்தோம், right? A story I told you. நல்ல product, super technically sound product. இதை யாருக்கு ரீச் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? என்ன சொன்னார் அவரு? அதான் சார் நீங்க கண்டுபிடிச்சு கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னாரு. I'm not here to find customers. Then why did you build this? என்னன்னே தெரியாம ஒன்னு பில்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். Because I am so enamored by technology. எனக்கு இது பண்ணணும் பிடிச்சிருக்கு. Restlessness. See, restlessness is good for building a startup. But அது பிசினஸ்க்கு வேலைக்கு ஆகாது. If you don't know to create business model out of it, then you are only feeding a passion. அது டைம் பாஸ்ங்க. நான் மியூசிக் கத்துக்கிறோம். I also learn music sometimes. I do so many other things. That is time pass. I read. அதெல்லாம் time pass. I watch movies. That is time pass, right? But the point here is that நிஜமாவே ப்ராப்ளம்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணா தான் we can build a company, because we are building a future around it, and you are creating teams around it to build a company. So what is the kind of dream are you trying to create, right? So problem இல்லாத போது இல்லாத சொல்லுவாங்க, மூவில பார்த்திருப்பீங்க, right? யாருமே இல்லாத டீ கடைக்கு போய் டீ போட்டுருக்காம்பா அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி, ஓகே? அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி எந்த ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லாம சும்மா ப்ராடக்ட் கிரியேட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தா, where will the product get sold in the marketplace? The product is not going to be taken by anybody else. அது ஒரு பார்ட். ரெண்டாவது பார்ட் வாங்க. ஓகே, customers have a problem. நான் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணிட்டேன். I have found that people have problems. This is really good. Fantastic. First tick mark வந்தாச்சு. But please understand the second part of the shell. Another egg இருக்கு. என்னது அது? அது பிரேக் ஆகணும். Will they pay for it? Understand whether they will pay for it. அதுக்கு மேல இன்னொரு क्वेश्चन இருக்கு, நான் அப்புறம் சொல்றேன். அது கஸ்டமர்ட்ட போய் இதெல்லாம் கொடுக்கலாம் சார், இதுக்கு வந்து இவ்வளவு ஆகும். ஓ, இது நான் ஃப்ரீயா இருக்கும்னு நினைச்சேன். இன்ஃபேக்ட் ஜஸ்ட் வெரி ரீசென்ட்லி ஏதோ யாரோ ஏதோ சொன்னாங்க, ஐ forgot on what context பண்ணும்போது, சார் why don't you consult us free of cost சார், எங்களுக்கு வந்து எங்க கம்பெனி கன்சல்ட் பண்ணுங்க ஃப்ரீயா. சாரி, எக்ஸ்கியூஸ் மீ, I already do a lot of free sessions and things like that. 25 to 30% of my time, whether it is IDs or whether it is EDI, whether it is Rotary, there are a lot of times that we spend in building an ecosystem. We also run a company by name Startup Experts. There are people, they have to be paid salaries, they need to be compensated, right? We are building entities. So tell me, if you are creating a product, are you going to give it free? Illa sir, adu vandu charge பண்ணுவோம் sir. Then how do you expect it free from my end? Are you running an NGO, non-governmental organization, a social enterprise without profits, for you to ask that you will do a free consultation? Illa sir, summa kette sir. So these kind of people doing, see, they don't have the basic qualities to create a successful entity at all. And the DNA kadayadu avangalukku. Okay, very, I mean, if at all it comes in, it probably could be a fluke. The most important thing is, please ask a question of, will they pay for it? Customers pay பண்ணுவாங்களா நம்ம ப்ராடக்ட்டுக்கு பார்க்கணும் நம்ம. So you should find out whether and who are the paying customers. அதையும் பார்க்கணும். Of course எல்லாரும் பே பண்ண போறது இல்ல, but who will be the paying customers? அந்த paying customers நிறைய இருந்தா தான் உங்க company can actually build. இதுக்கு மேல இன்னொரு question இருக்கு. In fact, one gentleman had done it. அவர் வந்து ப்ராடக்ட்டை ப்ரோட்டோடைப் பண்ணி கஸ்டமர்கிட்ட காமிச்சிருக்காரு. இது நல்லா இருக்கா? சூப்பரா இருக்கு சார். இதுக்கு வந்து நாங்க இதுக்கு வந்து பிரைஸ் பண்ணுவோம் சார். அதெல்லாம் ஓகே, பிரைசிங்லாம் பரவாயில்ல, இன்வாய்ஸ்லாம் கொடுத்துடலாம். அதுக்கப்புறம் பில்ட் பண்ணிட்டு ப்ரோட்டோடைப் பண்ணி கொண்டு போகும்போது சார் இது இவ்வளவு காஸ்ட் ஆகணும். இது ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு. How much will they pay for it? Please understand. That's the most important, next most important question. எவ்வளவு பே பண்ணுவாங்க? Will they pay for it? Yes, I will pay. How much? So இது ஒரு validationல வந்து in one of the my engagement, formal mentoring engagementல வந்து ஒரு survey பண்ண சொன்னோம். Okay, I suggested them startup founders. I told them please do a survey. அவங்க சர்வே பண்ணி கொண்டு வந்தாங்க. சார் யாருக்குமே வர மாட்டாங்க, ஒருத்தன் கூட பைசா கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க சார், எல்லாரும் ஃப்ரீயா தான் இருக்கும். ஒரு 200 பேரை சர்வே பண்ணிட்டோம், ஒருத்தன் தான் சார் பே பண்றேங்கிறான் அப்படின்னு. ஓகே, சர்வே கொண்டா, ஐ வாண்ட் டு see the survey. So I asked them the question. They say இதெல்லாம் கேட்டிருக்கோம் சார். இல்லப்பா எனக்கு சர்வே கொடுப்பா, நான் பார்க்கணும், ஐ வாண்ட் டு see, ப்ளீஸ் சென்ட் இட் டு மீ. அனுப்பிச்சாங்க. I went through. Good. I can clearly see why people will not do. அதுல என்னன்னா ஒரு கொஸ்டின்ல போட்டிருக்கேன், இந்த சர்வீஸ் எடுத்துக்கிறதுக்கு நீங்க வந்து பே பண்ணுவீங்களா மாட்டீங்களா? எவரிபடி சே நோ. இதுக்கு நாங்க பே பண்ண போறது இல்ல. ஒரே ஒருத்தர் 200 பேர்ல ஒருத்தர், 1000ல ஒரு மாதிரி 200ல ஒருத்தர் எஸ் ஐ வில் பே அப்படின்னு இருக்காரு. குட். ஐ டோல்ட் them சேஞ்ச் தி क्वेश्चन. உங்களுக்கு மத்த क्वेश्चनலாம் கரெக்ட்டா இருக்கு, இந்த 2 क्वेश्चन மட்டும் பண்ணுங்க. இந்த சர்வீஸ் இவ்வளவு பெனிஃபிட்ஸ் இருக்கு, ஷோகேஸ் தி பெனிஃபிட், இவ்வளவு பெனிஃபிட் இருக்கு. இந்த பெனிஃபிட் கிடைக்கணும்னா how much you are willing to pay அப்படின்றது கொடுத்துட்டு 100 அவங்களுக்கு என்ன பண்ணாங்கன்னா 49 ரூபாயில இருந்து 99 ரூபீஸ் கிடைச்சாலே சூப்பர் சார், 150னா எக்ஸலன்ட் சார், ஆசம் அப்படின்னு. குட். 100 ரூபீஸ், 250, 500, 900. You know what the answer was? Most of them picked 500. Few picked 250. Very, very few picked 100 rupees. Very few picked 1000 rupees. Ladies and gentlemen, நம்ம என்ன கேட்கணும், எப்படி கேட்கணும்ன்ற விதம் இருக்கு. நமக்கு டிஃபரெண்டா கேட்டோம்னா டிஃபரெண்ட் ஆன்சர் கிடைக்கும், தப்பான ஆன்சர் கேட்டோம்னா தப்பான ஆன்சர் தான் கிடைக்கும். Okay, so these are some validation techniques. Of course there's a lot to learn, but I'm trying to give you as much insight so that you'll be able to drive your respective startups in your place far more effectively. Next வருவோம். வடிவேலு ஜோக் எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும், ரைட்? எது பண்ணாலும் yes I can hear you even though we are all on mute. Plan பண்ணி பண்ணலாம். So he who plans to plan fails to plan is planning to fail. நம்ம ஒழுங்கா பிளான் பண்ணலைன்னா we have a good enough chance that we are going to fail. Okay, so very, very important. So business model இருக்கட்டும், business planning இருக்கட்டும், very, very important to ensure that you clearly record every action that you are supposed to do. எந்த ஸ்டெப்புக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன ஸ்டெப் போகணும்? I told you the process first. அந்த ப்ராசஸ்ல வந்து கிளியரா you should know, understand that இதுல இருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு இங்க முடிக்கணும் ஒண்ணுனா. இது இல்லாம நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப் நான் ஜம்ப் பண்ண போறதில்ல. I'm not going to cut short and move to the next step. அப்படிங்கிறது you should be very clear about it, right? So இதுதான் one of the most important reasons that companies fail. One of the top few reasons. Idea சூப்பரா இருக்கும், எல்லாமே நல்லா இருக்கும், ஆனா எக்ஸிகியூஷன் absolutely horrible. Execution பண்றதுக்கு you will need a good team. Okay, எது பண்ணாலுமே you will be able to do it right. If you have to execute, you will need to also have the right people to execute this. Okay, if you are a tech company, then you should be strong on technology. If you are a market focused company, then you should have a great vision, strategy, business model. எது பண்ணாலுமே respective people, the blocks correct இருக்கணும். It's a balancing of blocks across multiple things. Operations இருக்கணும். நீங்க ப்ராடக்ட் manufacture பண்றீங்கன்னா உங்க operation should be absolutely stupendous. Quality check process should be awesome. Compromise இருக்கக்கூடாது. அந்த மாதிரி systems create பண்ணணும். Leakages இருக்கக்கூடாது. Revenue leakages, productivity leakages, efficiency leakages இருந்தனா cost வந்து ஏறிட்டே போகும், profit கம்மிட்டே வரும். So if you cut down all of this, your productivity, your efficiency increase ஆச்சுனா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா more output, less cost, more benefit for the customers. அப்படி பார்க்கலாம். Or more profit for you, either which ways, right? So அந்த executionக்கு வந்து கரெக்டான டீம் இருக்கணும். Whether it is a tech team, whether it is a human resources team, whether it's an operations team, whether it is a marketing team or a sales team, management team, எல்லாமே பக்காவா இருக்கணும். You don't need to have some 40 people to create a startup, 10 people to create a startup even. நீங்க 4 பேர் வேலை பார்த்தா கூட you are are going to play multiple roles. எல்லாருமே ஒரு particular point in different roles play பண்ண ஆரம்பிப்பீங்க, which actually means that you will be wearing multiple hats at different points in time. நீங்க தான் CEO, நீங்க தான் CTO, நீங்க தான் ஆபீஸ் ஒர்க்கர், நீங்க தான் ஆபீஸ் பாய், கொரியர் பாய், எல்லாமே நீங்க தான். So different roles, அந்த எக்ஸிகியூஷனை வந்து எடுத்து hold the sleeves, get into the job, just do it. அதுக்கு you should find the right team, right people. Usually என்ன பண்ணுவோம், நமக்கு ஆள் கிடைக்கலன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதை எடுத்துருவோம். Okay, and finding the right guys is always a challenge. Good guys. When I say good guys, I'm not talking about skills. Skills can be taught. I don't hire people on skills. நான் கத்துக்கலாம், அது கொஞ்சம் முன்னப்பனா இருக்கலாம். Of course, I don't take absolutely pathetic skills எடுக்கிறது இல்ல. Reasonable skills. They should have aptitude to learn. Attitude should be right. You know, when you're building a startup, they need to have the right attitude and commitment that they will be with you for a longer time. You know, in between நமக்குன்னு குதிரை கட்டி விட்டுற மாதிரி போட்டாங்கன்னா, then things will become very difficult to move. அதனால it's to be built together as a company, and you need the right kind of mindsets, right kind of DNA, and the culture correctா set ஆகணும். Compromising culture இருந்ததுன்னா things won't work out. So as a founder, you should not compromise. First and foremost, ethics, integrity, அதெல்லாம் build as part of the DNA. அதே மாதிரி எடுக்கிறவங்கள்ட்டையும் கேளுங்க. அந்த மாதிரி you should ask questions, should probe why they should come into the company, எதுக்காக வரணும், or what is the problem that they face, what are the issues that they come across in the job or outside. இதெல்லாம் நீங்க வந்து you should build it as a team culture should be very very robust, energetic for you to build a successful entity. And most often இது ஒழுங்கா build பண்ணலைன்னா it's very difficult to create structures. ஏன்னா pillars மாதிரி எல்லாருமே, அந்த pillars இருந்தா அதுக்கு மேல இன்னொரு மாடி, அங்க pillars ஒழுங்கா இருந்தா அதுக்கு மேல இன்னொரு மாடி. So you can keep building it. But if the basement very weak இருந்ததுன்னா it's very very difficult to build. So the core team னு சொல்லுவோம், initial set of people in the company, right? That should be very strong. It can be founders, you 2 or you 3, you 4, whatever it is. And the team very strong இருக்கணும். அதுக்கப்புறம் அடுத்த execution level team strong இருக்கணும். So company மேல போக போக அந்த circle should become bigger and bigger, stronger and stronger. அது விட்டுற கூடாதுங்க. Okay? At some point in time மேல போகும்போது double break ஆகும், loose ends will be there. You'll be forced to pick some odd people who you don't feel comfortable. அந்த மாதிரிலாம் எடுத்துனா collapse ஆக ஆரம்பிக்கும். The strength of the chain is the strength of the weakest link. All right, இந்த ஒரு aspect நிறைய கம்பெனி கொண்டு வர்றாங்க. Either they have nothing and they do only marketing, or they have a fantastic product, they don't do any marketing at all. தானா விக்கும் சார் அப்படிம்பாங்க. தானால விக்காதுப்பா. மைக்ரோசாஃப்ட்டும் கோவறாங்க, கூகுளும் கோவறாங்க. நம்ம மட்டும் கோவம் வருது அப்படி வைக்க முடியும் கோவல. You got to reach you need to reach the people. You need to make the right kind of noise, right kind of sound to ensure that people listen, people hear, people watch you, people buy from you. Marketing is very very important. Okay, don't underestimate the power of building a brand. Brand அப்படிங்கிறது சும்மா ஒரு logo போடுறது இல்ல. Okay, what the logos that you see on the other side, that's our own startup, right? So it is just not about சும்மா ஒரு logo create பண்ணி போடுறதுன்னு கிடையாது. It is also about what it communicates to the people. That is very important. What it means to them as a company. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு brand சொன்னோம்னா அவங்க என்ன நினைக்கிறாங்க, what kind of experience that they can get from such a company. அந்த experience தான் create பண்ணி கொடுக்கணும் நம்ம. Build the feeling of trust. Build the feeling of oneness with the customer. Honest opinions நிறைய வரும், இந்த மாதிரிலாம் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. Fantastic, right? So and the marketing you should focus on. And of course you had a session, I think day 1 or day 2 on digital marketing, I understand, right? I am a very passionate digital marketer, right? We are a digital marketing company also. So அதனால அதை கரெக்டா leverage பண்ணீங்கன்னா it can be brilliant. I mean, traditional marketing needs a huge amount of money, but digital you can do at a fraction of a cost, and you can exponentially reach customers or even validate. Validation கூட யூஸ் பண்ணலாம் நம்ம டிஜிட்டலா. Okay, so there are ways to validate using digital marketing to find out before even you start a company and start to run it, right? Test market பண்ணலாம், நீங்க samples pilot பண்ணலாம், நிறைய விஷயங்கள் பண்ணலாம். So don't underestimate. You need specialists in marketing if you are going to build a proper startup. Either நீங்க founder-ஆ இருந்து you can be a specialist, or please have specialists in your team who can do the right marketing, right strategy. Strategy-ஓட drive பண்ணீங்கன்னா you'll be able to build a better company. என்ன பண்றோம்னே தெரியாம வேற activity மட்டும் பண்ணோம், you may not be able to build a strong entity. So அதனால please give importance to marketing. When I say marketing, you should also do sales subsequently to close the deals. But marketing will be like a cover fire மாதிரி இருக்கும், like air fire. அப்புறம் inventory மாதிரி போய் க்ளோஸ் பண்றதுங்கிறது sales, that would be fine. But அந்த bigger coverage கொடுக்கிறது வந்து marketing தான் கொடுக்க முடியும் உங்களால, right? Branding and all of that. And of course, yes, this is very, very, very important. You're talking about, you're talking about money. Vitamin M is absolutely needed and you should raise it at the right time. Fund எப்போ ரைஸ் பண்ணணும், எப்போ ரைஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு இருக்கு. ஓகே, சம்டைம்ஸ் ரொம்ப ஏர்லியா ரைஸ் பண்ணிட்டா வேல்யூஷன் அடி வாங்கிடும். ரொம்ப லேட்டா ரைஸ் பண்ணா ஆள் இருக்க மாட்டாங்க கம்பெனி ரன் பண்றதுக்கு. யூ டோன்ட் ஹேவ் கேஷ். You also need to understand how to manage cash for your company. Because, friends, if you're working in a company, you will get your paycheck, right? On the first of every month or first week, whatever it is. If you're an entrepreneur, எப்ப check வரும்னே தெரியாது. You probably will be not getting compensation for a very long time if you're starting up, because you're going to invest your money and time into it. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும்போது, if you're hiring an employee, whether you take compensation or not, you need to ensure that your employees are actually getting paid. Right? Many of the cases, நிறைய இடத்துல compensation pay பண்றது இல்ல நிறைய entities-ல, right? At least some partial compensation if they're really doing well, நல்லா பண்றாங்கன்னா you should take care of them also. So give them whatever you have, try to share it with them and tell them, yes, hold on, just sail through the tough times, we'll take care of you later on. And the way you should try to make sure that these tough times are not going to last forever. Another, the cash management, you should know that month vandachana, all of these to be accounted. Ungaloda system la kondu vandirnom. You don't want to scramble and find out what's happening. And the discipline of finance is very, very important. Number two, when you raise funds, right, don't just exorbitantly overspend and do absolutely unwanted things. What is essential, do it. Okay, anala, this is very important that you look at managing the cash, raising the funds. Money plays a very, very important part in building a startup. You can take loans from the banks. If you don't want to raise funds from private equity angel investors, you can still go with the banks if you're confident enough that you're able to pay it back on time. Yes, you can definitely, that's the best way to do. Take loans and then take ODs, overdrafts la edukalam neenga bank la. And mari you can do it. You can get grants. Okay, I have a different session for that, but then yes, grants nariya kudukranga, nariya competitions la grants kadikum. 1,50,000 rupees, 5 lakhs, grants kadikum. So look for such opportunities where you can pitch your startup and get some grants from colleges and things like that, right? Universities and stuff like that, right? And this is something which we touched upon in the first. 90% failure adon nam aaramikalam vendama yosipom modalla. But please understand, 80% of mentored businesses succeed. It has the other side. Okay, so mentored businesses has a very high chances of success. Okay, it can be more, but the point is you should also have the right mentors and the right with the right passion who can actually help you build the right startups. Anala, please take mentors whenever you need support on whichever areas. It can be business, it can be branding, it can be technology, it can be finance, right? It can be investment raise. You can have mentors who can support you in the entire process, in the journey. But உங்களுக்கு நிறைய டைம்ல நிறைய mentors வேண்டியிருக்கும். I also act as board of advisor to some companies, right? We share typical strategies and things. We review how things are happening and do that. So and the madri and some insights are always shared. So adnala you need to find the right combination to find the right mentor and find out what is it in for me, what is it in for you. அப்படிங்கறதெல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் கரெக்ட்டா அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு have clarity of thought process before you engage with the mentor, because it's very important that you have the right people, whether it's a team or mentors or advisory boards, whatever you call it as. Correctana persons edukaradha very important. You should have the right people to guide you in the right direction. That's very important, right? And very, very important, right? Practice makes the man perfect. Adu verum slogan kadiyadu. It's absolutely true, right? Look what our great man. I was very fascinated by this gentleman, right, in my childhood days. Adanala I like this. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once. இங்க ஒரு கிக், அங்க ஒரு கிக், இப்படி ஓடின்னு practice பண்ணல. But I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times, because he's going to be absolutely solid at it. And there's no way you can escape that. அதனால it's all about practice, just doing it right. Rigorous பண்ணனும், continuous உழைக்கணும், சும்மா வராது, right? You got to put in the effort, you got to know what to do it. இப்போ வந்து we know what all to do. எப்படி யோசிக்கணும், how to build a startup, என்னெல்லாம் aspect consider பண்ணணும் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். But the most important point is you got to practice. ஒரே நாள்ல டக்குன ஒரு மூவி 5 minutes மூவில வர சாங் மாதிரி வர முடியாது. ரொம்ப ஏழையா இருப்பாரு. Absolutely, to the roads. He will not have anything with him. One song 5 minutes ஆகும். 4 minutes 50 seconds song. முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா சடன் மல்டி பில்லியனர், இமீடியட்டா பில்லியனர். அதெல்லாம் வந்து மூவில நடக்கும். Please understand, it doesn't happen in reality. You all know that. So point is, it needs enormous amount of work, persistence, patience, and the conviction, the passion, and lot of energy. Most importantly, a lot of self-motivation. Motivation romba venum. Don't expect motivation to come from outside and keep pouring you. Okay, you need to have self-motivation. You can look at motivation books. You can listen to motivation audios. I mean, even in Voxit, we have a lot of motivation audios right here. So there are people who have come back and said, sir, adha ketom super ah irukku motivation, charged ah irukku, Monday morning ketom sir super ah irukku, Wednesday kella ketom energy level increase aachunu solittu we have got lot of feedbacks. So and the mari lot of things are available. Motivation movies kuda paakalam neenga. In fact, for my mentees I even refer, just get yourself charged. What's the motivation movies? Edhu venalam pannalam neenga. But end of the day, you got to be self charged, motivated. Ungalku motivation vadhukku enna pannanradhu neenga dhaan paakanum. You should understand that what motivates you and how it motivates you, what energy can bring in from outside. And it's going to be a roller coaster ride. Everything is straight ah pogadu, uniform ah pogadu. Uniform enna pogum, இப்படி flatter தான் என்ன போகும், ECG line flatter தான் என்ன அர்த்தம், out, dead, right? இப்படி மேலே கீழே போயிட்டு வரணும், அப்பதான் லைஃப் இருக்குன்னு அர்த்தம். So you will have your startups going up and down. You will face it. I have faced it. I have been facing it. Everybody will face it. But end of the day, மேலே போயிட்டே இருக்கணும். அந்த கிராஃப் இப்படி போகணும், இப்படி போனா கூட கீழே வந்தா கூட திருப்பி மேலே போயிட்டு மேலே போகணும். So that's what we should look at. And then this is a very important thing. Entrepreneurship ஏன் பர்சீவ் பண்ணணும்ன்றதுக்கு ஒரு ரீசன் இதான். One of the big reasons, right? Entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people want, because very tough initially. மத்தவங்களை பார்க்கும்போது நம்மளும் வேலைக்கே போயிருக்கலாமோ, we have got some good salaries, கஷ்டமா இருக்கு, மந்த் ஓட்டுறதே கஷ்டமா இருக்கு நினைப்போம் முதல்ல few years. Read the next few 3 lines so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. That is entrepreneurship. Okay, so with that I want to give you one last note, the power of 1%, right? டெய்லி நம்ம 1% இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ண போறோம். பெருசா ராக்கெட் சயின்ஸ் பண்ணி இன்னைக்கே பண்றோம் நாளைக்கே பீரியட் எல்லாம் வேணாம், கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணலாம். 100 நாள்ல 100%. சவுண்ட்ஸ் வெரி சிம்பிள் இல்லையா? ஆனா பண்ண முடியும், பிராக்டிகலா பண்ண முடியும். எப்படின்னு சொல்றேன். வாட்டர் என்ன டிகிரில பாயில் ஆகும்? டைப் பண்ணுங்க. எஸ், சூப்பர், 99, எக்ஸலென்ட், 100 out of 100. 99ல என்ன ஆகும்பா? 99ல என்ன ஆகும்? 98 degrees என்ன ஆகும்? ஒன்னும் ஆகாது இல்ல. ஆனா எஸ், இட்ஸ் ஸ்டில் வாட்டர். அந்த 1% பாயில் ஆச்சுன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? என்ன ஆகும்? 99ல 100 போகும்போது என்ன ஆகும்? இட் பாயில்ஸ். வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் ஆஃப்டர் பாயிலிங்? பபிள். ஓகே, என்ன ஆகும் அதுக்கப்புறம்? எவாபரேஷன். ஓகே, எக்ஸலென்ட். எஸ், இட் பிகம்ஸ் ஸ்டீம். And the steam can power a locomotive. Whatever you see here, it's a train, locomotive, massive engine, thousands of kilos, so much of tons weight, and the steam it will just move the engine. Niravi, engine gets moved with that extra 1%. So you, as a startup founder and as a mentor, as an advisor, whatever it is, you need to have that extra 1% to ensure that at 99 to 100, the pass mark. 34 வாங்கினா ஃபெயில், 35 பாஸ். இட் மேக்ஸ் a difference. 49 ஃபெயில், 50 பாஸ்னா that 1% makes a difference. அதே மாதிரி that 99 to 1%, it needs that extra 1%. So we all need to make sure that you put in that extra 1% energy to ensure that your startup has the right amount of steam getting created and pulls the engine to make it far more successful. So with that, I think I am coming to the close of the session. So once again, an interesting day that culminates with the leadership series that we are talking about, entrepreneurship leadership series talks. So happy to be part of that. So I'm wanting to be open. I would like to have things open for questions. So raise hands or chat in the questions. So I'm open to hear from all of you guys. Okay. Q&A time. And yes, for those who haven't noted down or for those who have missed to take a note of my number or email ID, yes, here it is. Or you can Google startup consulting company. Automatically. But illata kuda you can just make sure that the email ID is spelled right. Experts on the X e kadiyadu. So explain aarambikkom. Illana you can WhatsApp me at any point in time to get to know. Happy to help you guys. Okay. So with that, questions. Time for questions. Q&A. I'm expecting questions. Shoot. Yes, absolutely. Thanks. Yeah. Go ahead. You can do it in the chat box right here. Ilena specific I think you need to have somebody open up the mic for you. But otherwise, please go ahead and do the chat, and that's easy to reply to each and everyone as much as possible. Okay. How much time do we have?
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, how does the business, like if you start a company, how does the income generate?
Okay. So why do you start a company? Because you are probably selling a product or a service that the market is looking for. Correct? அவங்களுக்கு தேவையான ப்ராடக்ட் or service நம்ம கொடுக்குறோம். So அதனால you are trying to create data. And how will you run a company? You need money. Right? Initially we put some money from our end and start the company. But எப்படி survive பண்ண முடியும்? You need to get money. அப்படின்னா you have to sell a product, you need to sell a service and get money into the company. So ஒரு பொருளை கொடுக்கலாம், ஒரு சர்வீஸ் கொடுக்கலாம், அதுக்கு இன்வாய்ஸ் ரைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு நீங்க வந்து you can take money into the company account, right? And அதுதான் income for the company. அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் you will be able to create, take care of your expenses, salary ஆ இருக்கட்டும், rental ஆ இருக்கட்டும், electricity ஆ இருக்கட்டும், whatever expenses are, you'll be able to manage it. So நீங்க ஆரம்பிக்கிறது வந்து you should have customers who can pay for your product or a service. அதனால தான் நம்ம கம்பெனி ஆரம்பிக்கிறோம், right? How to create a brand like an Apple? You're asking a $1 billion, $1 trillion question. Come back, we'll have a separate session. But then yes, see, end of the day, it is all about finding the sweet spot. The unicorns சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, இந்த மாதிரி unicorns வந்து doesn't happen just like that. It takes time, right? Absolutely. You are hitting like a bullseye, so precise that the opportunity that you have created is enormous, right? ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போது எப்படி ஆரம்பிக்கும், மேக் ஓஎஸ்ல இருந்து ஆரம்பிக்கிறோம், ரைட்? அப்பெல்லாம் வந்து people who have used Mac won't, even today there are many people who use Mac, they don't move to other OS, right? And those days the difference was even much huge. இதுல பண்ணிட்டு அதுல போக மாட்டாங்க. So அப்படின்ற மாதிரி அந்த experience, if you are able to give it to the customers and you are able to consistently maintain that experience levels, then yes, you can also become an Apple. Other than difficult. So it is such huge $1 billion entities doesn't form overnight. And it is not like they were created in it took so many years to become a big company, right? Whether it is Apple or whether it is Amazon or whether it is any of these companies that you talk about, nothing happens overnight, right? Don't get mistaken by the valuation number versus the revenue that is getting created. Okay, many people miss. I'm not here talking about valuation. The valuation, it's a notion. Okay, what others are possibly seeing as a value of the organization. As 1 million company, 10 million company, 100 million company, avanga value பண்றது. Revenue 1/10 கூட இருக்கலாம், 1/20 இருக்கலாம், 1% இருக்கலாம், அதெல்லாம் வேற விஷயம், right? But the point is, such a large company have identified the spot, manufactured the Apple Macintosh computers. அதுலேருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு it started to build one by one, and consistently they were able to beat the expectations of the customer and able to retain loyal customer base and able to grow. ஒன்னு மெயின்டைன் பண்ணணும், growவும் பண்ணணும். They were able to do it very successfully. And innovation is the order of the day, and the innovation has to be creating value for the people. அந்த மாதிரி பண்றதுனால they were able to big and sustain. Even today, you see a queue, when the iPhones get launched, iPod, you should listen to Steve Jobs talks. Very motivating talks as an entrepreneur, right? அவர் வந்து காமிப்பாரு, ஒரு இன்னைக்கு சொல்லணும், இது வந்து 5 GB இருக்கு, 54 MB 64 MB இருக்கலாம் சொல்லலாம் நம்ம. But people won't understand. 1000 songs கேரி பண்றதுக்கு வந்து நீங்க வந்து ஒரு 50 கேசட் பிளேயரை கொண்டு போகணும். அந்த காலத்துல கேசட்ஸ் இருந்தது. Just he said 1000 songs in small, this one ஒரு பாக்கெட்ல போட்டு போயிடலாம்னாரு அவரு. So people are able to understand, why, my God, instead of carrying a massive box, I'm just going to have a small thing in my pocket. You know, that's how the iPod was launched. That's the kind of value that you're able to create, and people are able to pay. And you know the kind of prices you pay for those products, right? It's expensive. All right, how to attract more people? How to become successful in entrepreneurship? How to attract more people now? There are two ways you attract people. One on the co-founder argano. So you need to bring that energy that people should trust you. Why should people trust you? Right? Like you need to have the culture. You need to show that you have the stuff to deliver in the, you know, whether it's a technology or it's business or whatever the industry that you are trying to talk about, you should be good at it. Appa people will trust you and say, why will they come and join you? Okay, my career can be much better if I join this person, my as a co-founder, then I think we are able to leverage our strengths better and build a much huge company. 1 + 1 is not 2; it'll be 3 or 4. And the Mario thought, you should be able to present yourself, have clear thought process, good vision, and you should have that kind of a vibe to build people around you, right? I think I answered the question, but it's a heavily loaded question. And how to become successful entrepreneurship? You have seen the session yesterday, today, and even the previous few days. So your chances of success definitely has risen multiple times. Let me tell you that very clearly. Your chances of success, if you have been very closely watching all of this and if you're going to put into practice, friends, your chances have increased significantly in creating a successful startup. All right. Yeah, that's a good question, Venkatesh. Before that, it was okay. All right. 1 minute. Hari Prasad, I answered the Apple question. Nice. Vignesh, we saw 90% startups fail to sustain. Is it possible to come back to normal state of business once we fail? Why not? See, it is all about the failure. It is not the end. Okay, it is a constant journey. Either the failure is that particular instance, right? Or a match, it's not the end. ஒரு கப்பே லூஸ் பண்ணிட்டோம்ப்பா, இட்ஸ் நாட் தி எண்ட். அடுத்த கப் இருக்கு, இன்னொரு மேட்ச் இருக்கு, நிறைய ஈவென்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு, போயிட்டே இருக்கணும் அடுத்தது. பட் யூ லேர்ன் ஃப்ரம் தி மிஸ்டேக்ஸ் அண்ட் பிவட் இட் டிஃபரெண்ட்லி. இதுல ஃபெயில் ஆயிட்டோம், ஸோ டிஃபரெண்டா பிவட் பண்ணி வேற மாதிரி யோசிக்கலாம். Maybe the model is completely flawed. Maybe the people are not the right teams. Maybe I don't know how to raise funds. எத்தனையோ விஷயங்கள் இருக்கலாம் நமக்கு, right? So you need to have that learnings applied into your new company and create something that you really wanted to build. Or in the தெரியாத ஃபீல்ட்ல கால விட்டுட்டோம், I think நம்ம தெரிஞ்ச இடத்துல போலாம்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதுல உள்ள போலாம் பெட்டரா. So there's always learning and you can always bounce back certainly for to do that. So it's not an end. Please understand, failure, it's not an end. It's a process. On the particular instance, that's it. You can always do something more better, relaunch it, repackage it, or do a different company and make it successful. All right. Next question is from Agilandeshwari. So from where we get cash for startup? If it's from bank via loan, then what if business fail? Yeah, good question. So banks loan கொடுப்பாங்க கம்பெனிக்கு. So collateral loans இருக்கு, collateral இல்லாம loans இருக்கு. So you have to pledge, something collateral சொல்லிட்டு கொடுப்பாங்க. collateral இல்லாம loan கொடுப்பாங்க. But you are not going to cheat. You are not charging a company to cheat. There are a lot of people who cheat the banks and run away and do all of that nonsense, right? Mismanage the funds and do all that. நம்ம வந்து அதை பத்தி பேசல, right? We are talking about ethical business. அப்படிங்கிற போது you are taking a loan on the company, right? So if the company fails, bank doesn't get the money. So அதனால உங்களுக்கு நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் ரைஸ் பண்றதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா இருக்கலாம், நீங்க பே பண்ணீங்க மணி பே பண்ணலன்னு அப்படின்னா. So but at the same time they will give you money, right? I know of my mentees and my mentees and many of my connects who have got loans 10 லட்சம் 20 லட்சம் 30 லட்சம் 40 லட்சம் collateral எல்லாமே வாங்கிருக்காங்க. No collaterals, no pledging of property, nothing. Bank கொடுப்பாங்க, provided you are able to convince, pitch it right and get the confidence of that person and ensure that you are going to pay. You have the intention to pay and you have the capacity to pay. You have the energy and the execution skills to do that. அப்பதான் கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டா கொடுப்பாங்க. So this is one side. The second part, raising money from your own side. We call it as 3 F's. 3 F's சொல்லுவோம் நம்ம இனிஷியலா மணி ரைஸ் பண்றதுக்கு. First, friends. ஓகே ஃபேமிலி முதல்ல நம்ம ஓன் மணி. ஸோ நம்ம ஃபேமிலி பேரண்ட்ஸ் கேட்போம், அண்ணன் தம்பிட்ட கேட்போம், வாட் எவர் இட். ஸோ வி கலெக்ட் மணி ஃபார் த ஃபேமிலி. ஸோ ஃபேமிலி, ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், அப்புறம் ப்ரோ எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் கேஷ் வேணும் ப்ரோ, எவ்வளோ கொடுக்க முடியும், எனக்கு 1 lakh வேணும், செட்டப் பண்ணி நான் ட்ரை பண்ண போறேன், சம்திங் 50,000 கொடுக்குறீங்களா ப்ரோ அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி யூ கேன் ட்ரை டு யூ டென்ட் டு டேக் மணி ஃப்ரம் யுவர் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ். ஆர் வாங்க நம்ம 4 பேர் சேர்ந்து பண்ணலாம், நான் கொஞ்சம் போடுறேன், நீங்க கொஞ்சம் போடுங்க, எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து பண்ணலாம் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி யூ ட்ரை டு டூ தட். தேர்ட், எஸ் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், ஃபேமிலிஸ் அண்ட் ஃபூல்ஸ், 3 F சொல்லுவோம் நம்ம பிசினஸ்ல. பட் தட்ஸ் ஃபார் அ ஜோக், ரைட்? தெர் ஆர் பீப்புள் ஹூ கேன் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் அண்ட் இன்வெஸ்ட் மணி இன் யுவர் ஓன் ஸ்டார்ட் அப். ஸோ நீங்க பிச் பண்ணும்போது ஓ இது நல்லா பண்றாங்க, நான் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்றேன்னு வருவாங்க. So you have seed investors, angel investors at an early stage, pre-seed, நிறைய terminology சொல்லுவோம். But you typically look at angel seed funding னு சொல்லுவோம். ஆரம்ப காலத்துல somebody will give you money to ensure that your startups become successful. அது வந்து டெட்டாவும் கொடுக்கலாம். டெட்னா வந்து கடன், இது கொடுங்க எனக்கு 2 வருஷம் திருப்பி கொடுக்கணும், 1 yearல கொடுக்கணும், அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கான்ட்ராக்சுவல் அக்ரிமெண்ட் இருக்கும். இல்லைன்னா they take equity in your company. நீ இவ்வளவு கொடுக்குறேன், எனக்கு இவ்வளவு பர்சன்டேஜ் கம்பெனி கொடுத்துருங்க, 10% கொடுங்க, 20% கம்பெனி கொடுங்க, I'm giving you cash, I'm giving you money for your company, right? அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ அது வழியா நீங்க ரேஸ் பண்ணலாம். ஸோ and as I said, failure is an option, right? One more question from where we get cash. I think that's best. Next question from Harni is, what do you think of online startups? Online startups, I mean, there are too many online startups. Only thing is, you don't want to say I am also there, me too. You should have something different, something unique. People should love to buy things online from that particular portal. And the moment you go online, okay, online e-commerce workalam, right? You need huge money to market and make sure that you are visible to people, right? General online education is online, gaming is an online, ellame irukku. But end of the day, any online business, you should understand the need of the customer, and you should be able to create the value for the customer. More importantly, you should be able to generate revenue out of that. Okay, adu moonu irundaduna, why not? Certainly you can do that. And yes, okay, very good question. And 1 minute, I think I have to browse through the other questions. Online startups, okay, Vignesh says there are many ways of bringing back a satisfied customer, but there is any idea to bring back an unsatisfied customer? Okay, so end of the day, customer varanga, they have a trust, and then they come to you, and then you sell a product, you sell a service, whatever it is. And the experience level match alena avanga thiri poiduvaanga. So avanga ulla kondu varadhukku why should they come again அப்படினா நீங்க வந்து ஒரு கன்வின்சிங் ரிப்ளை இருக்கணும். இது முன்ன மாதிரி இல்ல சார், இப்போ நான் மாத்திட்டோம் கம்ப்ளீட்டா, so please come back. Or you give them something, you entice them, அந்த ப்ராடக்ட் இருந்தது சாம்பிள் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி பாருங்க, பிடிச்சிருந்தா வாங்க, இல்லாட்டி போங்க, whatever it is, something. So you need to create that engagement, right? There is no rocket science, இப்படிதான் பண்ணணும்னு கிடையாது. So unsatisfied இருக்கிறவங்களோட understand the pain and really genuinely try to see whether you will be able to address that requirement and then convince them to bring them back, right? So you need to showcase that you have changed, that you have something which is going to solve the problem, and he or she is not going to have the same issue, whether it is business to business or business to consumer. ஒரு company bad experience வரல அப்படின்னா திருப்பி நீங்க உள்ள கொண்டு வரதுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணிருக்கோம்னு சொல்லிட்டு you should do more commitment to make sure that you are able to deliver it. If you are able to deliver, yes, you will be able to bring them again for life, right? So you say that the product should not be of much cost. It's a small margin difference between the production and the selling cost, enough to run and suffice the employees and the startup. It is just that I don't get how will we acquire the money back, or there's any other means. No, I didn't say it should not be of much cost. நான் என்ன சொல்ல வந்தேன்னா, உங்க ப்ராடக்ட் 100 ரூபாய்க்கு பண்ணலாம், விற்கிறது வந்து 110 ரூபாய்க்கு 105 ரூபாய்க்கு விற்க சொல்லல. If you can get a customer who can buy it at 1,000 rupees, why not? If he or she sees value in it, why not? So unwanted costs avoid பண்ண தான் சொன்னேன் நான். Okay, don't build costs which are absolutely waste, which is not going to create value to customers. உங்களோட காஸ்ட் தான் வெளிய உள்ள போயிட்டு இருக்கும். அதே மாதிரி if you can create value, you can sell it at a good price. I also coach people on negotiations. I do separate workshops. That was my specialization in Harvard Business School in Boston, right? Other which I have conducted workshops. Negotiation சொல்லி தரது create as much value. It is not about bargain பண்ணி சும்மா நீங்க 2 ரூபாய்க்கு 1.5 தரறது வேலை கிடையாது. It's not a கத்திரிக்காய் வெண்டைக்காய் வியாபாரம், right? We are talking about serious business, creating value for the person involved in the other side as well as for you. ரெண்டு பேரும் வேல்யூ கிரியேட் பண்ணணும். இத்ரூண்டு அரிசிக்கு அடிச்சுக்கிறது பதிலா இவ்வளவு பெருசா கிரியேட் பண்ணி ரெண்டு பேரும் நிறைய எடுத்துக்கலாம்ன்றது தான் பார்க்கணும். அதுதான் objective. Okay, the thought process completely வேற மாதிரி இருக்கணும். Negotiation means something very different. Many of them don't understand negotiations. It is one of the top few skills that you list out in the top that if you should have as a startup founder. அது நிச்சயம் தேவை. So அதனால you should claim as much value as possible, by increasing your profitability. Apple profits சொல்லுங்க பாப்போம். Google, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to give it to you to do the research. Understand what is the profits of Apple and other small companies. இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய கிரியேட் பண்றாங்களே குட்டி குட்டி கம்பெனிஸ், அவங்களெல்லாம் ப்ராஃபிட் பார்த்து just understand. Okay, if you're able to claim much value, you can sell at good price, make more money, make more profits, you can take care of your people better, and in turn you can take care of your customers even better. So more money can give more experience, more things. அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு cascadingல நம்ம பார்க்கலாம், right? Okay. Venkatesh, any government subsidies? Yeah, நீங்க வந்து ஸ்டார்ட்அப் இந்தியால ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணீங்கன்னா, if you are an innovative startup, உங்களுக்கு வந்து DIPP நம்பர் கிடைக்கும் உங்களுக்கு. Innovative startup, அதை வச்சு you can claim tax benefits from the government. அதே மாதிரி இப்போ manufacturing setup பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா electronic manufacturing நிறைய இருக்கு. So there are a lot of benefits that the government definitely provides. So certainly central government has given a lot of SOPs இருக்கு. I think you can definitely take it up with the EDI also. I'm sure they'll be able to guide you with more specifics. But yes, the answer to your question is there are a lot of subsidies that you can actually, if you know how to leverage, each and everything is ocean by itself. ஒண்ணா பார்த்து உங்க இண்டஸ்ட்ரி பாத்தீங்கன்னா அதுக்கு உண்டான இதை நீங்க you can definitely look at it. Even to நீங்க ஒரு பேட்டன்ட் ஃபைல் பண்ணணும், ஒரு காப்பிரைட் ஃபைல் பண்ணா கூட your costs are much less if you are under the Startup India. நிறைய சப்சிடிஸ் இருக்கு, அங்கேருந்து ஆரம்பிக்குது for that. Okay, thanks Harini. And then Srikanth, if market conditions are not favorable, should we move to a trending business or stay with the same business and try to sustain it? Okay, so in the market conditions, it is always a moving target. So உங்களால predict பண்ண முடியும், உங்களால if you're able to understand how the forces are going to operate in the near future, in the long term, உங்களுக்கு certain visibility and vision. See, இதெல்லாம் வந்து gut feel சொல்லுவோம். This is where the experience and expertise will matter. Expertise is skill. Experience is that experience of having seen long. So people with 10 years of experience will have a different vision and outlook than somebody with a 1 year experience or starting from college. Expertise இருக்கும், ஆனா experience இருக்காது. அதனால you should build that experience also into your team to understand என்ன பண்ணா better. இத ஷட் பண்ணிட்டு அடுத்தது போணுமா, இல்ல நம்ம மாடலை அடாப்ட் பண்ணிட்டு அடுத்தது போணுமா, or fine tune, keep moving. So it is very important to understand in the direction to pona company ku better irukum. There's not one straight answer for it. Okay, it depends upon the situation for you to take a decision and align yourself with a short term goal as well as not losing sight of the long term. Rendume important to do. So you have to balance, you should take a balanced call on that. From Shweta, sir, are there any there are two ideas. One is where I'm able to get a solution to a problem that is always going to be there, and there is one where the problem is temporary, so it's the solution, but I can pick only one as my startup. Which one should I pick? The one is a short term but very huge turnover, or the other where I can have a constant turnover? It's truly your call. What do you actually want to do? Again, as I said, there's no right or wrong answer, right? நமக்கு என்ன வேணுங்கறத நம்ம தான் பிக்கப் பண்ண போறோம். நான் இன்னைக்கு ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன், I'm seeing good money, why not? If you think that you have money on the table, just go grab it. Nothing wrong in it. As long as you have a big vision, இது பண்ணதுனால அது இம்பாக்ட் ஆயிடும், வேற யாரும் எடுத்துட்டு போயிடுவாங்க அப்படின்னா, then you need to obviously look at that. இல்ல இது முடிச்சுட்டு I will generate some cash for the next 3 months, 6 months, and then I try to build something more, then yes, you can always do this and do the other startup also 6 months, 1 year from now, whatever time period is, and build a separate team and run it in parallel, also run something else over there, right? இப்போ வந்து specific to COVID, there are a lot of solutions that keeps coming up, right? It may be there for the next 6 months or 9 months. அதுக்கப்புறம் இருக்குமான்றது very very doubtful. அப்படிங்கிற போது quick-ஆ can I get in, make some money in the process? It will help. But இன்னைக்கு ஆரம்பிச்சு அடுத்த 6 மாசம் 8 மாசத்துல I can build a much bigger entity for the long term na, provided if you start 6 months 9 months from that point, அங்கேந்து பண்ண முடிஞ்சா இதுவும் பண்ணி அதுவும் பண்ணலாம். So you can satisfy it. Just truly what is that idea and what you want to doங்கிறத பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் we can take a call on that. I hope I answered Shweta your question. Okay, yeah. So fantastic. So number of thought-provoking, insightful questions. It shows how much you have understood, watched, and been part of this. Wow, one more question. Rini, okay, in platforms like Amazon or Swiggy, what is their profit? How do they charge commissions from their customers and their partner manufacturers? Well, I'm not going to dive down specific to the company per se. See, it's a large gameplay. Okay, commissions in Pata percentages can vary. In a cost is very high compared to the revenues. So the correct percentages, 10% இருக்கலாம் 20% இருக்கலாம். Flat rates இருக்கலாம். So it depends upon the deals that you are actually trying to make with the respective people. But more importantly, the unit value சொல்லுவோம் நம்ம, and the unit economics is the word that we normally look at, we use in startups. So and the unit economics should add up to overall numbers that will be able to sustain and balance your cost. If, for example, I'm spending a lot of money and I'm getting very less revenue. ஒரு shortfall இருக்கு. இந்த shortfall bridge பண்றதுக்கு you need loans or you need investments. So companies like Amazon or Swiggy இருக்கட்டும், revenue இவ்வளவுதான், ஆனா funding இவ்வளவு இருக்கு, right? அது ஏன்னா the potential for the company to grow is very high. எங்கேயோ இருக்கு. அதனால they are pumping with extra money to create the value bigger. இது வேற மாதிரி ஒரு game. Okay, so I don't suggest you to play the game right now. ஏன்னா அது if I give you more insights onto that, you might get carried away and think that is the right model to do it. Because not every company can become a unicorn. Unicorn ஆக வேண்டாம்னு சொல்லல, but make sure your fundamentals are strong. Because if you are looking at only that model, then your risk of failure is also extremely high. அதனால I won't advise you unless until you have an absolutely breathtaking idea like an Uber or a Amazon or a Swiggy or a Dunzo kind of a stuff, which is very different. And it's very difficult to execute also. It's very difficult to replicate as well. And you need huge money to pump in and build it up. But answer to your question is that you should ensure that you are able to scale up faster or sooner or later, faster the better, that you need to get into self-sustaining mode. After expansion, you can get into cash, you can get cash, through loans or grants or through, bootstrapping or angel investments, seed investments, which you can keep building the company. And for a further expansion, you need more funds. And create panla. So you look at sustainable, scalable models and outliers. Okay, it's good to see that, but most of you will not be doing anything of that. Okay, most may not be doing anything of that. So we'll look at scalable, sustainable, and fundamentally fundamentally strong in business, and able to sustain on your own sooner or later. And the Marina startup build pannada, it will sustain longer and it will be good for the ecosystem, startup ecosystem, right? Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, when you started with Startup Experts, what was your business model canvassing, sir? Can you please share with us?
So, okay, the business model, very simple. It's a service organization. It's a consulting firm. Okay, so which means you deliver a service, right? And you have X amount that you charge from the customers as a billing, correct? You provide the consultation and there is a money revenue that comes in. You provide some extra services, you get paid for that. That's a very straightforward service kind of a fee. In fact, there were business models which I didn't practically look into it very seriously, where companies are asking, can you become our co-founder? I don't have money to pay you consulting. Adanala, can you become our co-founder? In the company, co-fund panna mudiyuma? We already have 2 people. We have 4 people. Ninglo or co-founder ulla vandrunga. So we will gain knowledge, experience, insights from your stuff, and also be in a course. Somehow I've been I didn't pursue that very seriously. Few reasons. One, whenever you bring in somebody into the company, it is no longer going to be your own company. Nithik in our example sonna that you have a 3-bedroom house. Suddenly you bring one more person, it is no longer your house. Okay, you don't have the same privacy what you had before. So somebody else is also going to be using your own restrooms, your own kitchen, your own living room, see the channels, televisions, everything is going to be, it's a little different. It's a joint ownership. Be very clear whether you will need to have a co-founder at all or not. அப்படிங்கிறது யோசிக்கணும். And it is not about, it's like a marriage, right? You don't just say, I like the girl, okay, chalo, let's get married and settle கிடையாது. You need to understand and ensure that you are going to spend the rest of the life together. It is not about, I just come, okay, 2 நாள் இருக்கலாம், அடுத்த நாள் போலாம். That's not the way you look at it. It's not about, it's not the kind of flirting that we are talking about in startups. You're building an institution. அப்படிங்கிறதுனால I seriously didn't look at that. But that could be one of the model that can potentially be looked at if you look at a business model per se. But then there has to be a balance between revenues and risks. When you provide a service, there are revenues coming in, and more the services, more the revenues that could be able to build. And with that, of course, we have created another startup called Voxit Media. Not many I'm not openly mentioned this. Probably very few occasions I have mentioned this. Very few know that I've been running this media tech company, more of a podcast audio app. So of course you can listen to it and share your personal feedbacks and thoughts. And so that's how. So we build revenues, we build other startup. Other revenue model vera. Okay, it's free for use. Ellarme Play Store la irukku, 6.5 MB approximately. Fantastic reviews, 4.7 plus review rating la irukku. About 22,000 downloads we already have, and we are going on a major expansion spree shortly. அப்படிங்கிற போது the revenues will be through advertisements and stuff like that. So that has a different model. We are yet to make revenues. We are only pumping in money from our end, right? But inge vande it's a service entity. That's how we started off 7 years ago, right? And to let you know who needs a service, everybody at some point in time will have a challenge of scaling up. A startup வந்து எப்படி ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுன்னு தெரியாது. So yes, they will need a consultancy. Small and medium businesses, they have already hit a revenue, 1 crore பண்ணிருப்பாங்க, 5 crores பண்ணிருப்பாங்க, 10 crores பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. How do we take it to the next level? They'll be stuck. ஒரு particular time வந்து they'll be stuck. How to take it forward beyond பண்ண தெரியாது உங்களுக்கு. அப்போ we jump in, we drive strategies, we create it. So அந்த customer identification வந்து அந்த 9 blocks ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா small and medium businesses and startup companies are. அதே மாதிரி வேல்யூ ப்ராப்னு பார்த்தா we are actually helping them launch their initiatives and grow the company. அப்படிங்கிறது இன்னொரு ஒரு வேல்யூ ப்ராப். For us, yes, we are going to be part of the journey and we enjoy doing that. Revenue model, I already told you. Cost factor, yes, we have consultants, we have people, right? What is the problem we are solving? People want growth. Whether it is startup experts, whether it is Amazon or Swiggy, right? Everybody needs growth, right? Which means those who are looking for growth and looking for good business consultants can come to. Other problem. Solution, yes, we give strategy, we give consulting, we understand the market, we understand space. You got the picture now? So that's how the whole business model is. And how do you take it to the market? Word of mouth is one part. Many people refer and recommend, and we keep engaging more and more. And of course, we are present on the digital media, social media, etc. So people look at us, send us inquiries. We are very well searchable in the internet. We get a lot of inquiries. So we validate it. Yaar support pananonu eduthu, we choose and we support customers. So that's how the whole business model that I have tried to tell you for our company. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yes. Any other questions popping up in the window? Okay. Yes. So what's next? Are we creating some wonderful startups from each and every one of you? In fact, I wanted some kind of a commit, right? You don't need to give it in writing and things like that, but some kind of a moral commitment that we are going to create, X number of startups at least in 2021. 2020 we'll start, right? But definitely 21, I want to see, how many startups can I actually end up seeing from each and every one of you. In terms of you should be able to support, help, groom startups from your institutes or that is also part of that, right? How many each and every one of you? Can we say at least you should look at creating 3 to 5 startups individually from each and every one of you, so that we have a few hundred startups that we end up creating, right? And of course, many can turn very successful because you have been part of the session, which means you have just increased your success factor by a good notch, right? So can we take that commit or that kind of a passion or that kind of a the commitment from each and every one of you. Super, excellent. Minimum 10, minimum 2. Awesome, guys. That's what it is. That's the energy. Super, awesome. Minimum 10 we will put. Awesome. I'm happy to be part of that, supporting in whatever way it is. Guys, make the best use. We are in the land of opportunity. So when we finish our college and stuff like that, right? Those days, we're talking about 90s, early 90s. Land of opportunity was US, Singapore, and things like. We were fascinated to be going there at all, right? And of course, when I was in my corporate life, as per the company policy, I finished the tenure, and I could have actually had my green card processed and lived in the States. I actually wanted to come back and create something, that is of value over a long period of time. Make a mark and do something which we love doing it. And yes, I'm fortunate to get into this and being a part of, so many initiatives and supporting so many of you young, energetic people like you. I'm very glad for each and every one who needs any help, support as we move forward. Certainly, we will create a much bigger, larger ecosystem. All right. Stay connected with WhatsApp. Follow the socials. I already told you. And then I think we have a long way to go. We have a long journey to traverse together. Right. I would like to see that. Super. So I think with that, we have come to the end of the session. Great. Thanks for your assurance. Wonderful. Awesome. So friends, well, yes, thanks Suhas, Daniel and team from EDI, from the IIT Madras team, guys who have worked in connecting with 30 odd colleges, and so many of you coming in from all over. Excellent. I'm very glad that you liked it. Just drop in, I have a request, just drop in the note of what you felt as experience in our Startup Experts page, right? Can you do that? Just send it as a message, Startup Experts page. My folks, the team will be very happy because they have been working through day and night, and they'll be glad to see your feedback and things like that. So please feel free to tag and share your thoughts, your experiences, and your best wishes in our social media pages. That will be really motivating and energetic for all of us per se. All right. So yeah, sure. Thanks. And I look forward to stay connected with every one of you, if not most of you, over the time. And we have an online, so not to worry. We can definitely stay connected and get things moving even during these tough times. And this is the best time to create entities, plan, and launch startups here. Okay, don't miss this opportunity. It is never going to come back again. So we have best of the times. Let's make the best use of the situation and build a great economy, a great country. And I always believe in the Made for India. So the app, the Voxit, I call it as Made in India app for the world, right? And it's a number one app. Inge and Aramchi, we want to get it everywhere else. So you will love it. Support by downloading, get it to your friends and all of that, and share with us anything else that you feel that can be added upon. We'll certainly take your inputs and build a wonderful app. It's free for everybody to listen and do. We only look at positive content, good, non-controversial, quality information that we want to share, because positive news, positive information build a positive country and a great country. All right. So we will start it from our end, and then we'll build it up to the world. All right. Thanks, guys, once again. Suhas, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Like wonderful words and ஒரு personal touch கூட கொடுத்தீங்க. So to the members who said like 2 startups, 10 startups சொல்றாங்க எல்லாமே, VDI is always there for them, and also Startup Experts is there for them, and IIT Madras will be attached to them as well. So இங்கேருந்து நல்லா பெர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுறவங்க IIT Madrasoட அட்டாச் ஆகிட்டாங்கன்னா they'll have shared mentors and resources. And சார் நேற்றுக்கு நீங்கள் பிஸ்னஸ் பிளான் சொன்னது வந்து அப்படியே ஒரு கூகுள் ஃபார்மில் போட்டு ஐ ஜஸ்ட் சர்க்குலேட்டட் இட் இன் த குரூப். வில் see the responses. அந்த ரெஸ்பான்சஸ் உங்களுக்கும் நான் ஷேர் பண்ணி விடுறேன். ஸோ அது ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கிட் வந்து ரொம்ப கொஞ்சம் ராவாகவே இருக்கும் நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி. ஸோ இட் வில் டேக் அ லாட் மோர் டைம் டு பர்ஃபெக்ட் இட், ரைட்? ஸோ ஒரு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங்காக நேற்றுக்கு அந்த எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ண சொல்லியிருக்கோம். அண்ட் வேல்யூ ப்ரொபோசிஷன் எக்ஸசைஸ் விச் கோஸ் இன் வித் தி பிஸ்னஸ் மாடல் வில் ஒர்க் டுகெதர், ஐ கெஸ். ஸோ இது எல்லாமே பார்த்துட்டு ஐ வில் சென்ட் இன் த ரிப்போர்ட் அண்ட் ஃபீட்பேக் இன் த கம்மிங் வீக்ஸ். ஸோ so that நம்ம இவங்களை அப்படியே ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டே வரலாம், so that we can give them whatever help that they need, and all the students can actually reach out and everything. So like you have shared your contact numbers as well, so I think they can also reach you. And thank you so much, sir. So
wonderful, wonderful. And maybe stay connected, as I say, because I'm also trying to get into larger groups and avenues for creating investments and so many other things, some interesting sessions. So நீங்க வந்து connection இருந்தீங்கன்னா, then I will always share. Of course, Suhas, I will definitely share with you. You are anyway part of it, and from all your end, we are planning something big, right? As we move forward, so many of you can get benefited out of that. So don't miss out opportunities that is going to come by. I'm also trying to network, outside the country as well, to bring in, larger ecosystem, global ecosystem into it. I started playing some small role on that. Please be in touch. Follow the pages regularly. A lot of benefit that would just come by. Okay, so don't miss that out. Sorry, yes, so you're saying something.
Yeah, so one of the benefits that I would like to mention right now is that EDI is going to offer, like, for 25 startup teams, 1 lakh seed grants.
Wow.
So the program is it's on, and the last date for application is October 4th. It's called the Tamil Nadu Student Innovators Program, and the students can check it out. I'll drop a link, and also I'll send across to you the details of it. And if you know any students from Tamil Nadu, they can actually participate in it. And please do circulate it around and get the word around.
Is this college or schools, or how is it?
Colleges, sir.
Colleges.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, very interestingly, I'm also part of other IITs, right? IT Kharagpur, IT Bombay. I think correct. IT Bombay, I'm a mentor. And IT Bombay has launched something called as Eureka Junior. There's a program. Okay, yesterday we had a call, and they want to build in schools into the ecosystem. Okay, to build, they want to pick up some interesting school projects. They want to conduct workshops to school students. Okay.
Wonderful.
So,
sir.
You think you can do anything with the tie-up? I don't know. So
we actually did something like that, sir. It's called the Ilam Innovators Challenge, and there are like 15 teams who have really good ideas, and out of which 9 schools are government schools. So the government school students only needed some push. They're very innovative, and they have a lot of practical talent rather than theoretical talent. All they needed was a push and motivation for them, and we were able to reach. And there were few from Chidambaram who said we have a satellite with us, and a few empathized, and they had a design thinking workshop which was mentored for them completely. So I'll send across a small report to you. I think it will be useful for the school students to get a recognition national level. So yeah, sir. So that was my project that was given to me last year. So I will share across to you about it.
Oh, awesome! Great, fantastic. In fact, if you think there is some way to do anything, I can always bring you into the system and see how it can be done better. And they do workshops free of charge to the schools, and also shortlisted startups, they will be able to give some rewards and stuff like that. It's a different initiative being planned. There is some time. So yeah, if some schools are interested, I can send them an email. Personally, I can send them an email, copy you in it, copy IT Bombay also in it, and they can get benefited. Workshops are conducted for students, separate focus group workshops. They'll bring it to 1 or 2 schools if the numbers are smaller. Together they do a online interactive. So it's a few weeks of some 1.5 hours here, and maybe a few weeks later another 1 hour. So it won't eat away into the academics and stuff like that. So it's for a small. Since you said students, immediately it just popped up out of the blue.
Looking forward to it. So I think we have overshoot the session quite a long.
Yes.
And we can close the session right away.
Absolutely. So we are at 8:30. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic to be with you on a Saturday evening, right? Where people would normally, get to the malls and movies and stuff like that. You are sitting here, and I'm telling you, you will never forget this session, okay? Because you are going to build fantastic startups in life as we move forward, right? Even in your workplace, you will be looking at very differently, if you don't do a startup today, in future as well. But I'm telling you, this learning will certainly help you propel to a successful career, successful venture as you move forward. So thank you guys. Thanks to us and everyone else. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening and a blessed Sunday and a great year. Take care, stay safe, all the very best.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Good luck. See you on the other side in our socials and emails.